used in this renewed assault, threatening global maritime traffic along a vital trade route.
The International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants today for Taliban chief Hibatullah Akhundzada and Supreme Court head Abdul Hakim Haqqani.
They are charged with systematic oppression of women, girls, and gender non-conforming people since the Taliban's takeover in 2021.
Israeli forces have launched strikes in Gaza that reportedly killed at least 51 Palestinian civilians after militants killed 5 Israeli soldiers in Beit Hanun yesterday.
These events occurred as Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump met in Washington.
President Trump convened a televised cabinet meeting to showcase his administration's achievements, including new tariff deadlines and legislative goals.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Check your facts. In here, please.
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Sure, you people out there might seem like, hey, maybe the loop button
is your mind's best friend.
No, I'm actually having a watch.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking.
Oh,
that's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
You give me gas. That's probably not going to shut off, right? I don't. You think I don't. But let's see. Will it go ba 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 ba, or will it not go ba 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 ba? Aha! It tried to go ba 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 ba, but I stopped it. Good morning, folks. It is Wednesday, Hump Day, your favorite hump day of the week, which is the only hump day of the week, which is your first Wednesday of every week, which is today, Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. Listen, I'm a failure. I let you down every day. I let you down, but today I'm letting you down again. So there's that. No guests today. Just because I'm too friggin' lazy. And I got distracted. There's other things I'm doing. I'm doing other things, okay? So there's no guest today. So all we have to talk about, plus we don't even have a lumpy Amish kitty diddler to make fun of on the program. So I don't know what we're going to do today. It's just one day after another. The insanity keeps just compiling exponentially daily with this world we're living in. And first of all, I think everybody on social media just is trying to show how smart they are. What I know, even if they don't really know, everybody's an expert in legal matters, in medical matters, in court systems. Everybody is an expert. How come nobody actually works in these jobs chimes in and says, you don't know what the you're talking about? How come? One thing I kind of know about. See, I don't even want to talk about this stuff. With this Epstein stuff. I know this. I know this much. And I think you'll agree with me here. So hear me out. I think people who rape children en masse do not care about the law. How about that for an idea? Because I heard it proposed that destroying evidence is illegal. I'm talking about this Epstein list. So it couldn't have been destroyed. Now people say, well, then somebody must have made copies. Yeah. But it has to still exist because destroying evidence. You're talking about people who condone, protect, and deal with child rapers every day. They don't care about the law. Raping kids is fine, but destroying evidence, whoa, that's illegal. Give me if you can make that make sense to me, how people think, oh wait, he wouldn't lie. He's a murderer, but he wouldn't lie. He's a rapist, but he wouldn't destroy evidence. This is where we are. This is where we are, people. Now, I know people are desperate on both sides of this coin. Trumpers and anti-Trumpers are desperate to see this list, this information, this evidence, and who's on it. Yeah, I mean, the anti-Trumpers, me, and a lot of people who just fucking can't stand Donald Trump, are on the side of, we understand, we take for granted that Donald Trump was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. He's all over this list. But who else is being protected here? How many other people? I mean, I could name names of people I believe. That's a little echoey over there. Coming back. I believe I know some of the names, but that's just based on how hard they fucking deny it, to be actually honest with you. Like people like Dershowitz. I mean, we've heard all the stories about him. I didn't take my underwear off. Oh, well, that's okay. If you're going to rape kids, if you leave your underwear on, that's fine. But how many other people are on this list? Now, most of the people on the Trump side still say, well, he's not our daddy, not our savior, not our orange messiah, not our identity. Yeah, he's not. Come on. Now, I have seen a couple. I've seen a couple of Trumpers come around to say, I am no longer associating myself with him, and he's disappointed me because of this list thing. It doesn't wash. Like, how could you? Come on, stop with that. Really, just stop. Give me a fucking break, will you? You knew he bragged about going into 14-year-old girls' dressing rooms to watch them naked, and that was a big thrill for him. He bragged about being a sexual predator when his daughter, Ivanka, said on Howard Stern, or Howard Stern said, you know a lot of sexual predators. And Ivanka chimed in, you are one, to Trump. And he went, yeah. And Donald Jr. and Eric, the horse face, both, yeah, he is. If your daughter called you a sexual predator, would your response be, yeah, that's right, yeah? Or would it be like, what the fuck? What the fuck? He bragged about wanting to bang his own daughter. He bragged about little girls that he saw on escalators thinking they were hot. Little girls, 10 years from now, I'll be banging her, whatever. If you didn't know this about this man, and it took till now to figure out, yeah, and you knew he was best friends with Epstein, and you knew he said he likes him young like I do, but now he's a bridge too far, man. This is the list. We want to see the list. Save your breath. You were in for a pound. You were in for a penny. You were in for a pound. You knew all along what he was. It did not matter to you. And so don't try to fucking sell this. Oh my God, he might actually be on the list. I'm outraged. Come on. Come on. You knew all along what he was, and you supported it. This is where we are. Now it's all a big distraction because they're going to do a lot. They're doing a lot of other things. Like Supreme Court just gave Trump the red light to kind of lay off anybody in the government he wants to do. in for a penny, in for a pounding of little children is what it is. What's going on there? I'm getting all sorts of feedback. Is that me? Oh, because I'm turning down the wrong buttons over there. I know. I'm hearing myself through other headphones on the other, and another county that just happened to flip from red to blue or blue to red or purple. Flip purple. Anyway, Stephen is not here because he's claiming he has weather. I don't have weather. What I have is just nothingness. I open my door and there's nothing out there. I open my windows, nothing. No weather. I don't know what it's like where you live. There's no such thing as weather. I'm confused. And so are you. Let's all be confused together. You think I should have gotten a guest today because there's no way we can sustain this stupidity. I say that. But I underestimate my capacity for maintaining stupidity. Anyway, I'm not going to play Steven's little bit today. You know what really needs some love? Daily High Club needs some love. They were wonderful to us for months. They were just, people were buying up them glass pipes and rolling papers and gift boxes. And then all of a sudden, they were trying to save up for sex dolls without heads on it. And that's a much bigger investment. So anyway, buy some, go back to buying your Daily High Club stuff, please. Please. Don't make me beg. I'm begging you, please. And in times like this, don't we all need Daily High Club?
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Not right now. Okay, now. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now, a man whose favorite actress is now the all-time, I don't know, I say favorite actress. I think I remember him saying something about her. Favorite actress is now the all-time earner, highest grossing paid actor in the history of acting. G.D. Fenderson is with us. Good morning, G.D.
Good morning, America. And are you as confused as what the fuck Matt is talking about as I am? Well, stick around. There's much more to come.
Nobody's as confused as me.
MindDogTV.com. Enjoy the suffering and support your local mercenaries.
I think you said at one time. Now, I could be totally misrepresenting your beliefs and thoughts and opinions. I think you said at one point something about Scarlett Johansson being a favorite actress. Did you say that?
No.
All right. Well, fuck me then. The man who never said Scarlett Johansson is his favorite actress, G.D. Fenderson. I could have sworn you said that.
MindDogTV.com. No.
I could have sworn
Good morning,
you said
America.
that.
MindDogTV.com.
Are you surprised that Scarlett Johansson is the all-time highest grossing actor ever?
Is this male and female?
Yes, she beat out. I think they had Morgan Freeman was one of the people she just passed or something like that. I don't know. She passed a bunch of men on it. So does that surprise? It surprises me.
If it just happened, it may be. I don't know how much money they threw at her to do the Jurassic Park thing. Because
I didn't even know that she was in it.
That may have been what gave her the bump. Because they could have probably gotten almost anybody to play that part that she is playing in Jurassic Park.
Wow.
I'm just saying it because it's she's not the only woman out there that can be tough, play the hero.
Right.
But she's got Marvel cred.
Oh, Marvel cred.
The Marvel cred. And
I think if you get Marvel cred, you could scrape it off. There's a scraper that at CVS, I think, that will get that Marvel cred off of you.
No, you're thinking Marvel crud. Marvel cred,
Oh,
you do not want scraped off. Marvel cred, you want to exploit.
fine.
There are thousands of actors who would like sell their toenails or even their toes to get a
How,
cameo in a Marvel flick
how much
and
for
to become of the Marvel canon like she is.
yeah. What's the going rate on toenails? Do you know? Is there a toenail market where I could look up the going? I
It
mean,
depends on the toenails. It depends on the toenails.
oh,
If it's just a regular fungus infected toenail,
oh,
those are actually just used for science and research. But if it's like one of the black toenails, from a black toe, or as we call them, Brazil nuts. um, um, I'm sorry, guys. If you don't get that, you have to reverse engineer that joke. But it
yeah,
is funny.
yeah. All right. Speaking of Marvel, now
People keep telling me I don't know how to write jokes. That's what's fucking funny. You just have to
Superman's not
reverse.
Marvel, right? Superman's not Marvel. Is he
No,
Marvel?
no, it's DC.
Oh. There's a big they're making a, every time a movie comes out, they look for something to get outraged about. Now Superman is being portrayed as an illegal immigrant, which he is, if you think about it. Illegal aliens, especially, but illegal immigrant. And now they're all upset about like this is a bridge. We can't go there. We can't have a guy who came here from outer space being portrayed as an illegal immigrant. We have to boycott the movie. Any thoughts on how stupid we are? We are all stupid.
I don't, because people are just fucking idiots. They're fucking stupid. I think part of it is, and I'm just starting to deal with this in my own personal life. It's one of my one or two things left to fix in my own personal life before I achieve perfection. But sometimes when it gets down to the real nitty gritty things that we have to fix to make things better, rather than to do the hard work, we will find an easy distraction so that we don't have to do the hard work.
That's absolutely true. I agree with you. People will look for any kind of, and there are other people who are just addicted to. I can't say this word out because there's one who lives under my roof. Drama, addicted to drama, and apparently, if you say the word drama queen, she will go off and cut your head off. I'm not talking about my wife, but somebody closely related to her is a female who's closely related to her, younger than her, that actually came out of her womb. That's all I'm just saying.
I need more clues. I'm sorry, I got nothing. You have any other clues?
Yeah, that's as far as I could go without actually saying it, I think.
Okay. I will ponder this. It's like it's going to be like a crossword puzzle clue that's going to nag me until I get my Google machine out to try to figure out.
It's not a New York Times. It's more like I don't know, Daily News or something.
TV Guide used to have like the entertainment. AARP has a crossword puzzle in the back, and I think it comprises of like 20 clues total. It's like,
what is this? Somebody wants it. No, this can't be real. I just got this thing about a focus group. They want me to take part in a sleep study that pays $7,000.
Okay. Now my only question is: at the end of the study, will they wake you up?
Oh no, leave it, because then they have to pay me. Leave them sleeping. That can't be right. That's got to be a scam. Oh, speaking of scams, let me bare my naked soul here. No, my naked soul, not my naked body. Yesterday, I said that Mark Norman had reached out to me and said, "Way to go! You one-upped me on that joke. I like it." Turns out the guy who DM'd me that is a Mark Norman impersonator, and I fell for it. Like an imposter, a identity thief on
How'd
Twitter.
you find that out? Did the actual Mark Norman call you and go, "What the fuck are you saying I said?"
I looked back at it and I saw Mark Norman 01. I was like, why 01? There's not like there's Mark Normans all over the place. And then I looked at real Mark Norman and there's no 01 on his. I was like, oh well, fucker. Why do people do that? Why? I mean, Other than
don't
a
know.
cheap thrill of fooling an old man like me. Oh, look, I fooled him.
I don't get it either. I just don't know what I don't know if it's, well, is it, no, because that's not what imposter syndrome is it?
You're not trying to
Imposter
make
syndrome,
money,
right?
right?
It's not like imposter syndrome when they're trying to imposter somebody else. I don't know.
Imposter syndrome is when you don't think you're good enough, and like you're on stage, and the voice in the back of your head says, "You're not a comedian. You're not even a humorist. You're nobody. Get off stage. You suck." That's imposter syndrome.
You know something now? Okay, just full disclosure. I was working with Dylan Brody last night in his workshop.
Wow, you went all the way to California.
Yeah, and I made it back in time to.
And
that's when
Steven can't even make it to his living room.
Yeah, and he challenged me to write like 5 jokes or something based on a particular theme, and I'd written something that I don't actually feel in my bones, but I hear it enough that I know how people feel about that particular thing. It's about humorists, and how. So basically, I wrote something to the effect of, let me see if I can find it. I call myself a humorist because it's easier to explain why you didn't laugh at a joke than it is for me to hear you not laugh at that joke.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, I like that, but it's offensive to me as a humorist because I am funny. And he explained to me, but I was thinking, I think I'm funny as well. I don't believe this in my heart. I'm just saying I heard it enough. And he went back to letting me know about something that Patton Oswalt had said to him.
Oh.
And Patton Oswalt said, humorists are just people who can't make people laugh. They don't know how to write jokes, or
That's not true. Will Rogers made me laugh a lot.
And Will Rogers is like one of my comedy idols.
It's funny how you have difficulty with the word idol. Is that a psychological hiccup there?
Well, no, because
idol.
No, because what happened? What happened was Alan Katz and I doing a podcast together. We're still recording the first few episodes, so we have them in the can before we start releasing them. So we'll always have something coming out, like once a week or once every 2. So we're putting episodes in the can. And in one episode, he'd asked me, we went over our comedy icons. And the reason why I stuttered over that, because he is the first icon that I remember thinking, I'd like to be like that. I want to do that. I was very young and I saw how he did it, and I saw what he did and I liked it. And that's the earliest person I can think of that I thought I like to do that. I like Groucho Marx. I loved Groucho Marx, and I used to impersonate him all over the house, but never did I think I want to be like Groucho Marx. I did want to be like Will Rogers. I did think that was a conscious thought on myself, when I was a child. But when I listed my icons, I never listed him.
Yeah, I have to give myself some credit here.
That's why I stuttered, because I just realized I didn't list it, and I felt bad.
It's on me. I cured you of your icon hitch there, but I must be a great psychiatrist or something. I just cured you of iconism. And I feel proud of myself. This is the greatest accomplishment of my life, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
And there's and a lot of people that really, really affected the way I do comedy, most people, if they heard of them, then they're too old to remember. Like I'll say Victor Borgen.
Borgen.
Yes, that was a huge influence on me as a kid. And see, even you going like Victor Borgen. See,
I remember the records and the commercials for the records. My mom used to like to watch him and laugh at him, and I'd be like, "What the fuck is she laughing at?"
I loved that. I mean, that guy, he was a fucking. I loved Ernie Kovacs. He was so fucking innovative. He did a routine that I'm not sure you can find anymore. I was trying to find it so I could research it, because I didn't want to misrepresent it. But this is back when sitcom television was live. There was no pre-recorded shit. They didn't have. I don't think they even had tape. They didn't
have videotape in the 50s. No, they didn't.
So this is live, and he did a routine where the studio was pretty much upside downwards, but you don't know that in the beginning. you just see him, and the camera makes it look like he's right side up, and he's doing this little thing, and then he goes to pour the water, and it goes straight up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay, and and he's doing this live, and it was just amazing. I don't think that's out there. I don't think you can find that on video anywhere.
Well, you can find. I can tell you what you can find that ripped that off or was very, very heavily inspired by that. Penn and Teller on Saturday Night Live did a news segment. We know on Saturday Night Live they used to do Weekend Update. Or they probably still do.
They still do it. That's probably the best segment.
They were on that, and they were upside down. The audience, we all knew that, but people watching television didn't know that, and they were doing that same stuff with Teller levitating stuff and all that kind of stuff, upside down.
Yeah, so that's Ernie Kovacs, and that's when I saw that I went, oh, that's so fucking genius, and I wanted, and from the moment I saw that, I wanted an opportunity to do my own version of that. It's just something I saw. I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do that because it was so good and so well done that if you can do that, you've like achieved. Even though you're copying it, you've achieved a certain amount of mastery. If you can pull that off, even though you're ripping it off.
I can pull off. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to pull off.
Oh no. Not until Steven's here.
You're old enough. Steven's not coming. He can't make it. It's too far.
Oh.
And there's weather. I don't know if you know about this, but in Indiana,
I thought he was in the house. I did. First of all, when he said he had weather last night, I was like, that's like a. I thought all the weather was in New Mexico and Texas. I didn't know they had enough weather left over.
Oh, they had some in New Mexico, by the way.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, New Mexico had weather also.
Ruidoso. Speaking of news, you remember? You're old enough to remember. You're old enough to remember the first news.
Well, I'm old enough to have lived
the tablets where they.
I'm old enough to have lived it. I may be too old to remember.
Oh, when they carved it in the rock. But you're also old enough to remember. Laughing had News of the Future.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
Dan Rowan, Dateline 2086. G.D. Fenderson and Alan Katz are writing a podcast or something like that, and it's still Joe Biden's fault. So there you go.
Yeah,
Dateline 2086.
What made you think of Laughing's News of the Future?
I don't know. We're doing. I mentioned SNL's Weekend Update.
Okay.
That News of the Future, though, I'm thinking. I was thinking about that with Biden stuff earlier on, because how long will they be blaming Joe? Abbott blaming Joe Biden for the deaths in Texas yesterday. Like, it's Joe Biden's fault. Joe Biden has been out of office for almost 7 months now. He's getting chemo or whatever he's getting.
In all fairness, according to Trump, Biden's been out of office for 3 years. That was a clone that was doing that stuff. Yeah, so Biden, you can't blame Biden. He hasn't been in office for 3 years. Remember, according to Trump, Biden had a stroke or a shot or something. I don't know, but there was a clone doing it. It
comes back to every accusation is a confession with Trump, because these weapons stopped being shipped to Ukraine. Trump said, "I don't know who authorized." You don't know who authorized that. Who's running the White House? Was that Hegseth did it on his own? I mean, so he's blaming Joe Biden for not auto pen, and he wasn't really running things. And Trump admits in front of reporters he doesn't know what's going on in his own administration.
And that's the other thing that really kind of, how can people that support Trump, first of all, if they wanted Trump for president, then he should be president. I don't know what's going on. I'm just a PR guy. All I do is hold press conferences. Somebody else is making decisions. I don't know who's making them, but the buck doesn't stop here, because I'm stealing all the bucks and I'm putting them in my bank account. So they can't stop here. I got to move the bucks to my bank. So how can the buck stop here?
I don't know. Where's the buck stop? There's no local buck stop. I
think the buck stop is an offshore account that Trump set up just before he set up his meme coin accounts and his Bible accounts and all the other money stuff that he's ripping people off from. Is a cologne. So, yeah.
So I made a
Oh,
statement.
there's going to be somebody reached out to me when you were talking about you didn't know you had messages hidden inside the messages next to the
And the
messages.
message to the messages behind the
Right.
messages.
Well, I decided to check mine out again because I used to clear them out on a regular basis, and I hadn't cleared it out for a few days or at least a week. So there was like hundreds
Since
of them in there.
1937.
And there was one in there from a guy named Matt something. It's Matt. It's his initials are MM. Matt something with an M.
Matt
And he reached
Nussbaum, I
out-
know him.
Okay, and he reached out to me because he wanted to be on the show, and I said, okay, well, I sent him the link to book himself. But I don't know how long it's been sitting there. It couldn't have been more than a week because I used to be very good about checking at least once a week because
I
almost
got
everything
one
that
in
goes.
my messages from a guy from I think it was 2021. I saw it the other day about
Matt, urgent, please get back to me.
sending him to the calendar to book. It's like, whoa, I don't think that calendar even exists anymore. If he's even read it, I don't know. Somebody who really wanted to be on the show.
Yeah, so I sent them the booking thing. I was going to just send them the link and invite them on today, but I said, wait, we don't have time to research this, so I'm not doing it. I'm not going to put us in that situation. So I just.
I feel bad about not hustling on the guest stuff. It gets to a point where I get overwhelmed with so many guests booking, and then I don't reach out to even look for people that I want on the show. And then I'll look at the calendar, and all of a sudden there's days missing with nothing on there, and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck?
I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed because in the area where I am, there's a lot of comedians. Okay, there's too many fucking comedians in the area where I live. Too many. I mean, I have personally worked with over 4,000 comedians since I've been doing comedy in 11 years.
How do you keep track of that? You got a data sheet? We got Excel sheet?
I had pictures. I had pictures in my computer, and most of them had already been posted. The really good ones, or I posted on Facebook over time. Like I take the pictures and I post them like that. And a lot of the comedians, some of them, like the younger ones, that's like what they use for their first headshots, the pictures I took of them on stage and stuff. And so I needed room on my computer, so I had to delete files. And I had well over 12,000 photos. And because I take like two or three of each, I take like 2 to 3 of each person. So for me to have like 12,000 photos, and there's like three or four, I'm gonna say 2 to 4. Because some don't come out, but I don't throw them out right away. Like your blurry ones, or their light's too slow, so they do this, and you get this blur, that kind of shit. But yeah, 4,000 different separate comedians I've worked with in 11 years, and I got rid of all those pictures because I needed the space for pictures of me.
You don't matter, you 4,000 losers.
But the point I'm trying to make is. There are a lot of people, I'm not even going to mention them here, but they have clubs, they have venues, they have shows that they're producing in regular shows, they're producing in regular spots, in the DMV area. They can use, and also they themselves are professional comedians. Some of them have recently released CDs or videos, or not, DVD. I'm not going to say DVDs, but you understand what I'm saying, a comedy video, whatever, a show.
MP4.
When I say DVD, the Boomer Corner music starts playing.
Yeah.
But in my mind, it's still a DVD. So fuck them. But they have.
They're on the Napster of video.
Yeah, they're releasing comedy specials on video and in audio.
Yeah.
And I invite them on. And these are people. Some of them, like I said, some of them have disrespected me over the years, but it doesn't matter to me. It's like I understand why you disrespected me. We had a show. You didn't do as well as you thought. I did better than you thought I should have, and I became on your shit list. Got it. But they won't even come on the show to promote their own product. Not on this show. I see them on Facebook. They'll like put a thing on Facebook. I have a new CD. It's like, right, okay, great. The people who probably follow you already know about that. Here, you reach people who do not know who you are, and will find out about it. I said it would be broadening your market. These people, it's like, yeah, okay, so you don't like me. Do you like yourself enough to?
I don't know.
Well, not you, them. I'm
I know,
talking to
but
them, and I know some of them are listening because some I will encounter once in a while. They go like, "Oh yeah, I see that you have a podcast." It's not a podcast. It's a digital. It's a digital broadcast.
broadcast.
Yeah, it's a digital broadcast. Okay, it's not a podcast. Fuck you. It's streamed live every day.
Well, according to Good Pods this morning, we are number 66 in the top 10 indie comedy interviews of all time chart.
All right.
66. Well, we moved up 3. I don't know who we passed.
You know something?
We
think
passed
you'll be
Scarlett
better.
Johansson, I think.
Just think how far you could have gone if you weren't surrounded by a talentless hack who has the worst comedy special of all time.
Well,
good morning, Bill. Mr. Bill.
Oh yeah, Bill. Now I want to say Bill says it looks much slimmer today. I just want to introduce my new diet plan. My new diet plan for losing weight fast: kill Stephen Ortiz, and then there you go.
Good morning, Mr. Slap or Mr. Tail. Sorry.
But to just counter Mike's, and again, I don't have a problem with Mike. I like Mike, but his contention that the reason that this show doesn't do more in numbers, and he's only looking at YouTube numbers. YouTube is not our primary.
Yeah.
But that excuse aside, and that rationalization, justification, whatever all that is, I did this show alone. I did the show with Kiara. I did the show with Jess for a while. The numbers haven't changed since you and Steven and Ron have come on. So his claim that you guys are the reason that the numbers are not where they are, it's really no different from when I was doing it alone. So you guys have had actually no effect on the numbers. So there's that.
Yeah, and I'm sad about that because I really thought that I was going to triple your numbers. I really thought that, if Matt just had me on the show, his numbers will triple. But
yeah. I can reach out to folks I find funny to see if they would like to be on. See how I read like a fucking first grader? I'll put my finger on it. Many work. That's a big problem. A lot of people have day jobs. They work in the morning. And some of the good people I know who would actually like to come on, it's too fucking early. They're in California. Or I had one last night in Australia, a friend who's been on several times who called me and said, listen, that's late at night for me. It's either too early or too late for a lot of people. So, there's that. Anyway.
I have a question for you, Matt, real quick. I was asked about the platforms we're on. And I know that you said that sometimes people, it's like people will listen to us while they're driving for 18 minutes.
Yeah.
What did they listen on? It's like they're listening on their phones through
Bluetooth. Yeah, Bluetooth to their radio type of thing. It goes through iHeartRadio, so they're listening.
Oh, okay, iHeartRadio. Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Not just iHeartRadio. There's the app on the website, which I don't think that really brings in many. I look at the listeners going on according to the radio stream right now. We have 1,212 listeners on radio somewhere on. And when I say radio, internet radio, somewhere on some device.
So if I said plausible.com, plauzzable.com/GD Fenderson, they wouldn't see that, but they could hear that.
Yeah, they don't see. Yeah. You know what? There is a digital way to kind of put links in the radio stuff. I'm not technically astute enough.
Okay, well, people, check me out. Plausible.com, plauzzable.com.
Just plausible. Substitute the S's for Z's. Z's for the S's. Put Z's.
Matter of fact, fuck that. Just go to SoGDFunny.com. It's right there right there with my next show, July 19th. If you're on the radio and you hear this, check it out.
It's called July 10th. I don't know
July
if you know.
10th. Yeah, I'm reclaiming it. July 10th. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Matt. I forgot. It's copyrighted. July 10th.
So
Matt said it first, and I'm stealing it.
I built my reaction channel, and I haven't done the reaction thing yet. I'm probably going to start. Most of the people who do reaction videos do it on one genre, whether it's comedy, music, whatever. I can't. I'm just not that interested in any one thing. Really. So I'm going to have comedy, music, videos, politics, whatever I feel like reacting to.
Okay, Matt. I have an idea. I have an idea for a reaction thing.
Porn.
I have a telescope. Okay, I have a telescope So I'm going to set it up and record myself reacting to things I see going on in my neighbor's windows.
Whatever happened to Brendan Walsh? I don't see him on any.
speaking of peeping toms, whatever happened to Brendan?
Well, because he did my wife. Remember you talking to Mike about you waking your wife up laughing.
Right.
I woke my wife up laughing, and she said, "What the hell are you laughing at?" Like Brendan Walsh is acting like he's telling the world he's a peeping tom on Twitter. He would say, "Oh, I'm out of breath. I just came from the neighbor's house peeping on what," and you wouldn't believe what they were. And every day he had these peeping tom recaps of what he did last night.
So it's been done. I don't want to do it then.
It was hysterical, though. I mean, I don't see Brendan doing anything anymore. I mean, Brendan is one of the most unique, just humorists out there. He really is. I mean, his take on just what's funny and where you draw the line on stuff, it cracks me up. He's one of the funniest guys. But I don't see him anywhere. Like he disappeared.
Can I just talk about Brendan Walsh? Can I take this opportunity to promote something for someone else who's not? He's okay. Like I said last night, I was working with Dylan Brody, Active Voice Productions. Okay, Active Voices or Active Voice? Active Voice Productions. Just look up Dylan Brody, Active Voice Productions. Go to his website, dylanbrody.com. I think that's what it is. Like I said, he helps people write jokes and stuff like that. He helps you find your potential, and he also tells you the truth in such a way that if you're sensitive, you may wind up crying. But if you're like me and you're not so sensitive, and Dylan feels like he needs, like last night, Bill Dylan says, "I am so sorry that I'm so harsh on you." I said, "Dylan, you don't never have to apologize to me for telling me the truth." And then he goes, "Okay." Then he goes like that, and he goes like, "I'm so sorry that I was so harsh on you." I said, "No, Dylan, you don't have to. Don't apologize. You haven't hurt my feelings. I'm listening. Go ahead, keep going." So check out dylanbrody.com, Active Voice Productions. He does workshops on Tuesday nights. Sign up for them. That's all I'm saying. It's especially someone, if you're a young comedian or you're an experienced comedian, you're just stale. You don't have something, you've got a little blockage,
Yeah.
And speaking of
Dylan
blockage,
he's very smart and very talented. I appreciate the man and all he does a lot. Oh, Good Brew. We're
because I mentioned blockage.
Oh,
so between Dylan Brody and Good Brew, you'll take care of that blockage.
I don't know. My blockage is so thick. But Dylan spent at least 8 minutes apologizing to me for liking a Taylor Swift video. he's a guy who apologizes a lot. That's all I'm saying. He I don't know whether he's guilt ridden or whatever.
He is guilt ridden, but also he's just come to he just became aware within the past couple of years that he was on the spectrum. And that's part of that. He's so busy. His brain is so active that how did he put it? No, I don't want to say it the way he put it, because if it's a joke that he hasn't used in public yet, I'm not going to look like I wrote it. But he has basically he has to slow his brain down by smoking pot.
Oh yeah, that's my excuse too.
And I'm only saying because
matter of fact. Yeah. It's going way too fast today. I'm going to be smoking an awful lot today. I'm writing to. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm writing to propose a collaboration I think could mutually benefit you as a streamer. Mutually benefit me as a streamer. Mutual means us. Mutually benefit both of us.
I think he means the plural you. I think he means the plural you, like you and me. The two of us.
Yeah, but
the two of us is plural.
My goal is to help talented streamers like, first of all, I'm not talented, so take that. Streamers like yourself reach a wider audience and grow your viewership. I have a strong network of gaming enthusiasts. Now, I don't game, so they would hate me. And I don't really get along with gamers. Even Steven, I want to fucking kill Steven because he's a gamer. But gaming enthusiasts and social media followers who are also looking for exciting new streams. This is not exciting. Are you even watching here? There's nothing exciting going on here. Add me on Discord. My username is That's it.
Okay.
Now, listen, Mr. Kick. What I'm telling everybody who comes at me with this nonsense lately. Do it for points. Do it for free, and I'll cut you in for a percentage of the profits that you generate from your work. If you believe in what you do, and you believe you can make this show profitable in some way, do it. I'll cut. I mean, we can draw up the contract. I'll give you 40% if you can make this thing make $1 million in the next year. How about that? That's $400,000 for you if you believe in your talents. Come on.
Now, in Hollywood, they call that on spec.
On spec. That's exactly what I was going to say, on spec. But I didn't think he was
I just want one small thing about this, because it's the structure of his sentence, his opening sentence. I am writing to propose a collaboration, as Matt pointed out, that I think could mutually benefit you as a streamer. Okay. Now, so it's either one of two things. Either he doesn't know what the word mutually means, or he doesn't know what you means. Now, if he means the plural you, and he's including Matt and I in this you, then he needs to use the proper form of you, and that's use or you all. Okay, not just YOU. You cannot use YOU and expect people to know if you mean the singular or the plural.
Or you could use EWE, mutually benefit you, a female sheep.
Yes.
Which I could definitely understand. We have another proposal from a guy named John in Kalamazoo, Michigan, is on the phone now. I also have a proposal.
Hello, John.
I have a proposal for collaboration. It would only require you to provide me with your social security number. I don't have one. I'm illegal, and a major credit card, which has a fucking that's all funny.
And your big beautiful bill.
Big beautiful. It's I do it for free. Pointing lesson from Matt. And
painting.
Painting. Oh, I do it for a free painting lesson from Matt and a pass from GD. A pass?
I guess he wants to sleep with somebody. I don't know. So he can say that. So he can say nigger.
I thought go long.
No.
Down and out. Run it down and out, or down and in, or down and over.
I can throw 30 yards with my right hand and 20 yards with my left hand. I can't.
That's like almost like D and in or D and out.
Yeah. It's not even. It's not even it's not even a full pattern.
All right. Let me just go back to bring it back to how smart and clever I am. Maybe I still laugh with that one. Yesterday on Twitter, I wrote, this is what I wrote. Unless everyone in the administration has an IQ of 40 or lower, the Epstein list and all copies have been destroyed. I got 1,000 replies on that where people said, they made copies and blah, 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 blah. And I just kept back. Well, you're proving my point. And I said, unless they have an IQ of 40 or lower, all copies have been destroyed. I didn't say all copies have been destroyed or any of that stuff. Although I do believe the evidence has been destroyed. They're saying, making 1,000 read. Well, it's illegal to destroy evidence. Yeah, like it's legal to fucking rape kids. Hello, do you think they care about the law? These kid rapers and murderers. But also, this makes my point. Unless they have an IQ lower than 40, they probably have an IQ lower than 40. But Pam Bondi, she not only is kind of letting this stuff go. If another copy that can be verified and validated exists, that makes her an accessory after the fact in a cover-up. Now she's implicated herself in a crime by coming out and saying it doesn't exist and never existed, because if it does exist and somebody can prove it exists, that means she's involved in a cover-up. She's now a criminal. So unless she's a fucking idiot, she knows that all these copies have been destroyed. That's the point I'm making. And all these people come by, they made copies. Yeah, I'm certain somebody made a copy somewhere. But unless you were a total idiot, you would not come out and say that it doesn't exist or never existed if you didn't know that all those copies were. You get the point I'm making there. Why do I get 1,000 people trying to show how smart they are with legalese? Oh, it's been introduced as court, and yeah, it doesn't matter. Plus, people who blackmail John Gotti was never blackmailed for more than a day because the blackmailer ended up in a car crash on the in Brooklyn or on the East Side highway or fall out of a window or run over by a lawnmower. Putin was never blackmailed because those people end up poisoned or thrown out of a window. The point I'm making is if these blackmailers that you claim are still out there holding on to the evidence, you don't blackmail powerful people for very long because they have no problem killing
himself. Epstein himself.
Yeah. Oh, they're out there. They're not going to give up their blackmail evidence. Yeah, they are. The minute you send a blackmail letter or say, "Hey, I got a tape of you," they know who you are. They know where to drop the bag full of 20s or whatever you. They kill you. Like, are we opposed to murder all of a sudden? So I wasn't trying to show how clever I was. I'm just showing my expertise with blackmail and people who blackmail. Powerful people don't get because I know far lower level people than John Gotti who were in the mob. And the minute they got extortion letters or extortion phone calls, those people ended up having an accident. It always happens. People don't care about murder. I mean, God, I don't know, but 1,000 fucking replies, and they're all trying to think that I'm trying to make the case that there was only one copy. I never said there was only one copy. I'm certain in the digital age, if there's incriminating evidence and somebody wants to hold on to it, they're going to make a backup somewhere.
Yeah.
Fucking people they want to pile on, but they're all piling on now. Again, this is coming back to a both sidesism thing. Both Democrats and Republicans want to now say this list definitely exists. Trumpers are somehow coming to a point where why is Trump not releasing this? They're not willing to go the next step and say, we know he's on there, but they're saying they're cutting themselves. I'm no longer supporting him. Like, come on. 8 years you've known that he rapes little girls, that he likes little girls, that he wants to have sex with his daughter. I believe he actually impregnated his daughter and made her get an abortion. And I think there's some evidence for that. But all the best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. You think he was the only guy Jeffrey Epstein was friends with who didn't get involved? You got an extra 13-year-old laying around that could bang?
Now there's a news clip that's making its way that's reemerged because it's for the third time. That Trump doing an interview on the news. They asked him if he was going to release the Kennedy files. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm told all of it. Yeah, MLK. Yeah, all of it. Epstein.
He did the Ralph Cramden.
Some people some innocent people might get hurt by if I release everything. But
there's a lot of phony stuff in that world.
Yeah. So he's him and then Han. There's something I don't know why. Like I said, people don't know how to critically think. They aren't critical thinkers anymore.
Well, it beyond that for me, it's just like don't think that you're going to get away with this. I was always against Hitler nonsense after he's gone. Don't think that you now. Oh, wait a minute! It turns out he really is on the Epstein list. I don't want anything to do. You've been on the fucking Trump train for 10 years. You're not getting off. You're not getting off that, especially that easy. If you want to get off by jumping off the fucking hill. When it's going around a hill at 300 miles an hour, then you can jump off. But otherwise, you're fucking stuck on that train. Don't give me this fucking. Now I'm not supporting.
The sad part is some of them are trying to jump off the train from the front. So as soon as they get off the train, it's going to run them over. instead of making their way back to the caboose and jumping, they're like jumping off the front, and just getting run over.
Yeah. I don't know. So now he's thriving on this. everybody talking about Epstein to do a whole lot of other nefarious shit behind the scenes here.
Yeah.
I know you know people. Well, let's not name any names here. Like I didn't want to name my wife's relative. You know people who work for the government. He's slashing jobs like willy nilly. Like just let's cut all these jobs. Is that a concern for people you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. Now some of them, because they are contemporaries of mine, are old enough that they can retire, and they're just trying to decide if they are going to retire, or because some of them are holding up, because if they hold up for like another year or another 6 months, the amount that they get in their retirement, it like goes up like another 30 cents a month. Actually, I don't.
I think
more
it's
than that.
a few $100, which is
Yeah,
significant.
it's nothing. It's nothing to sneeze at, especially once you get to the point where you're retired and you're not working, and this is going to be your fixed income, the extra few hundred a month. Which I guess I should have stuck around and did the same thing, but I didn't. I'm an idiot. But
yeah.
But I have friends that are defense contractors. I have friends that are contractors for CIA. And I have friends that are contractors for, I said defense, CIA. Basically, that's but they are social security employees, and some of them are in healthcare. A lot of them are in healthcare.
So the question I have, though, there's a lot of jobs we're talking about that he wants.
Yeah.
Does that did they even consider the footprint that will have on the economy in general? Because you're cutting all these people from jobs. They're either going to go on unemployment, some of them are going to retire, and some of them are going to have to look for other jobs that don't exist out there, and they're going to struggle to pay their mortgage, their credit card debt, and put food on the table. What you're trying to boost the economy.
And here's the other thing that's also that people forget: institutional knowledge. Okay, like I know someone who's they're trying to work until they're 70. They want to work until they're 70. They're at Social Security, and they have like another 7 months to go. Everybody knows that when they hit 70, they're going, and all that institutional knowledge from the past 40 or 50 years they've been working at Social Security goes with them, right? So if she's trying to train people, and these people are young people who don't know that Social Security's operating system is based on the abacus. It's not based on all the shit they're learning in college right now.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to learn to manipulate, abacus, that shit. Reel to reel. Okay, they're not using reel to reel computers anymore, but you understand the point I'm trying to make, Matt. The stuff that you're learning in college is not what you're going to be working on in Social Security computers.
Yeah.
They have to be brought up to speed on the past speeds. If the people that they're firing are taking that knowledge with them, the people they prematurely just fire, they take that knowledge with them, and they're replacing with people who don't know how to do that shit, and they have to learn that shit.
Well, it comes back to the same issue with the weather service people around Austin. They were saying the facilities were they added more people for storm preparedness the night of the storm. But those aren't the regular people. They are the people who got laid off are gone, and now we're bringing on total strangers who've never been in that office before, don't know the workings of that office. It's not the same as just the system that used to be there before you laid off all those fucking people, and don't act like it is.
Right, and also the fact that they're getting rid of people whose job it is. Let's pretend that they don't cut any money from Medicaid or Medicare or Social Security. If they cut the people whose job it is to sign people up for those things, it's the same effect. You're getting less people on it and less money being doled out to people who actually deserve it.
Yeah, the Better Business Bureau, otherwise known as Big Beautiful Bill, BBBB, says I still see people doubling down on Trump and blaming Democrats for making the list disappear. I do too, all over the place. I think there's some validity to the question of why the hell Biden was in office for 4 years. Why the hell didn't Merrick Garland, somebody, release this list at any point during that 4 years? That's a valid question. Like, why? if they had,
and
they
if you
were in
ask
control.
if you ask Merrick Garland that, I'm pretty sure he'd say something like, "Well, it would have looked partisan. It would have looked like we were attacking, It's and that's when you can't let cloud the law. You can't."
The Austin fire chief. I'm reading more from Big Beautiful Bill for the people on the radio there. The Austin fire chief declined sending rescue teams to help when it was predicted that waters would get dangerous. There's a lot of blame to go around, but all this stuff.
Well, even if they
It's
didn't send
almost
help,
away.
why didn't they wake up the children? Why didn't they wake up the kids?
Texas has had flood. I mean, I know this because of Stevie Ray Vaughan. Texas has had flood problems for a long, long time. But
was
this
one of Stevie Ray Vaughan's songs?
Yes, Texas Flood, an album.
How old is that album?
Anyway, so they've had floods before, and but this one where the river rose 26 feet in a matter of minutes was unpredictable. I would say it's almost as if the climate is changing a little bit. Well, maybe that's a far-fetched idea. I don't know. I just kind of came up with that on my own. Maybe the climate is changing a little bit.
I think you may be onto something.
Somebody told me it sounds like you swallowed the Kool-Aid brew. That's what I got on Twitter for saying that. It's almost.
And did you tell them it wasn't Kool-Aid? It was Flavor Aid to get their history right?
It was fucking Texas River water, is what it was. And it tasted like mud. I've been in.
The weirdest thing is because I lived in Florida and I've seen the gators. Whenever there's a flood in the southern states, now Texas doesn't have gators that I'm aware of, but like Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, I think South Carolina, they have gators. So whenever I see floods, whenever I see something in the water, to me it's either a body or a gator, or a body waiting for a gator, or a gator looking for a body. That's all the fuck I see. So I'm just Texas, at least they don't have the gators.
I lost 2 houses to floods. I laugh at that. It's a terrible thing. Floods are scary as hell. The first house was Hurricane Gloria on Long Island in 1987. I think it was 86, 87. Floods and tornadoes on Long Island destroyed one house. Then I got another house which was towards the shore. The Perfect Storm, the one the movie was about, October of 92, 93. My years might be off because I'm fucking old and I have dementia. But I remember during the day, it was a beautiful day out, and I went out to get the mail, and I looked down the road, and there's a canal down the road, and the boats that were usually down in the canal were up above the street level, and I was like, that's unusual. I've never seen boats that high before. And there was a little trickle of water coming down the street, and I was like, oh, look, we're getting it's a beautiful sunny day. It hasn't rained in days. Why do we have water coming down the street? Somebody must be washing their car or something. And I remember calling my friend who lived around the corner from me, who worked at a bank. I said, the boats, because I knew she had a boat. I said, the boats are above the dock. You might want to come home and take a look at that. And then we went in and they were talking about a possibility of flooding that night. And I'm putting like sandbags in front of windows and stuff like this. And I've got pumps in my basement, sump pumps. Right. And every hour I'm checking it. I took my musical equipment and put it up a little bit higher, like it was on the table here. If it was on the table here, I'd bring it up 2 feet or something. And I remember like 4 o'clock in the morning, I went downstairs to check the sump pumps, and I see the water is above the windows outside, and I'm seeing a little bit of trickle of water. And I'm like, wow. I turn around and I hear a trickle coming at the back door. From the top of the door, I'm seeing little drops of water come in. And I look out, and there's leaves protecting. Fucking stupid I was and stoned out. Leaves protecting the kind of cracks in the door to stop the water coming. So I thought, Whoa, those leaves! I went out and cleared the leaves when I say the water is up to here on me now. I'm out my back door, and the water is up to here, and I'm clearing leaves out. And all of a sudden, I go back in the house, and the water just knocked the door off the hinges. White water coming into my basement now, and it flooded so fast. My entire basement was like flooded up to my chest within 30 seconds or something. Now I'm thinking there is a electrical wire going across the top of it was hooking up some medical from musical equipment. It was like an extension cord, and I went to grab it, and as I pulled it apart, a big blue fucking spark kept going across, and it was like I was in a Frankenstein movie. Ah! What the fucking And it wasn't long before it was completely filled up in the basement, past the basement, 8 feet into my living room upstairs. And that house ended up getting ruined. So I understand.
Man, just so you understand how it was October 30th, 1991.
Yeah. Oh, no, 91?
91.
All right. So
they call it the Halloween gale storm.
Right.
So I'm assuming that you didn't have any trick-or-treaters the next day.
Yeah, I was walking around because my son and had a friend who lived across the street, and we were walking around doing the trick-or-treating around the neighborhood, and there was just water, but it was a beautiful sunny day. It had to be like 70 degrees in late October, and it was like, wow, this is unusually beautiful summer day out here in mid-fall. Another problem is that people are used to Amber Alerts and minor weather warning. So you're blaming the Amber Alert? I should read the whole thing. Another problem is people are used to Amber Alerts and minor weather warnings on their phones that they dismiss it immediately. I don't know.
Now, I think they should still keep the warnings. I'm not saying he said to get rid of the warnings. You're saying that, well, even when they do it, people ignore it. But yeah, still do the warnings.
I think with the Amber Alerts or the senior alerts, I think I look at them and say the odds of me of knowing this person or seeing this person are very small.
Right. I don't dismiss them. I look at it. And if it's something I can help with, sure. If not, I'll dismiss it.
But if I got a warning that said there's a asteroid coming aimed right at your house and it's going to hit in an hour, get the fuck out of there, I think I'd pay attention. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I know when I've been in the house and we get like tornado warnings, first, my cat knows that there's a tornado warning before my phone does. So if I see my cat jump up and run into the basement, I know that within the next 30 seconds, my phone is going to be sending me a tornado alert.
That's interesting. My tornadoes know when there's cat warnings and they freak out. Yeah, so the Ruidoso thing was fucking amazing though. The house got lifted up off its foundation and then rolling down the block.
Modular. I guess it was one of those modular homes.
Yeah, I've been looking at those because my stepdaughter is she's gonna end up moving out again to another apartment, and I'm looking at these Amish homes. Right. They're beautiful, wood home, all wood homes, and they're like $20,000. And now you have to put it together. So either you have to be a carpenter or hire a carpenter. But all in all, let's say you hire the carpenter to put it together for you. The kit's $20,000. The carpenter's another $30,000 to put it together or something. The electric and plumbing hookup, all in all, and the permits. If you have the land, which we do, it's still under $100,000 or right around $100,000 for a house that will end up having $600,000-$700,000 in value. It's a no-brainer. If I were a young person in America today, I would be looking at getting a plot of land and one of these modular homes and just building it. It just makes so much fucking sense because houses here just like a ranch, a typical ranch, valued at $700,000, like a 2-bedroom ranch. Are you fucking kidding me? How is a young person supposed to ever get off of like renting apartments if houses are that expensive? Starter houses are $700,000. You got to save up, I don't know, $100,000 for a down payment and then have a $600,000 mortgage. It's crazy.
Now I know where I am. Most of the houses around here are on well water. Um, it's yeah, and so there's only so many homes they're not putting more homes in our neighborhood because there's a limit to how many homes you can have when you're on well water. You know, the flood,
Wow.
and so but like so I like so my wife and I. Okay, we have like one of the smaller yards. We have 2.5 acres. So we have like like somebody took the leftover land and put a house on it, 2.5 acres. Everybody else is like 7 acres, 9, 10. But because we're all on well water, I don't think we can put another house like between us and my neighbor or anything like
Yeah,
that.
we would definitely have to go through some loopholes, legal challenges there, and permits and all that stuff. We're not on well water, although some people, there are people who are on well water around here. I would never do that, considering there's Tesla's pollution factory over there and a nuclear power plant over there. I don't think it's a good idea to be on well water. Plus, we have
But you can
salt water.
test it. I mean, like we get out, we test our water. Our water is tested quite frequently. As a matter of fact, we have the government come out and test our water, but also we give our water to our cats and they're still healthy, so they haven't died or started glowing, and so and we have a canary that we give water to on a regular
Oh,
basis.
that's the whole thing with the coal thing. Trump loves the clean coal. Clean coal. There's no such thing as clean coal. Coal is fucking dirty shit. But the impact on the canary industry has got to be. It keeps the canary industry in business.
Yeah.
But yeah, we send out Madame Curie to test our water every once in a while. She comes back glowing.
Yeah.
So.
Glowing reviews. She's coming with glowing reviews. Yeah. There. Did you see that there's some states attorneys that are suing Robert Kennedy Jr. and HHS because they're not following protocols with shots and their recommendations and stuff?
Yeah. Whoa. Wait a minute. They're supposed to follow protocols and regulations and stuff. Wait a minute.
Apparently, it's a thing. Apparently,
What kind of world do you come from? Oh, that matters.
Well, call me Poly Negro. I mean Pollyanna, but
all right. Blah 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 blah. I want to get musicians on the show, and
well, you got your musicians. Okay, I'm not a musician, but I have some musical instruments.
I want to get some like I've had some famous musicians on my the other day, just to be provocative. I went on Facebook and wrote that guitar solos suck, all of them.
Right.
They're just the least imaginable way for the singer to catch his breath. I think there's a lot of. I think they're way overdone. If I'm fair about that, but I was just saying that to be provocative. But Russ DeSalvo, who is a virtuoso guitar player, he's written some #1 hits for people like Celine Dion. Used to work for Paul McCartney. He's a friend who I've known for 50 years or more than 50 years. One of my first guitar teachers. He's angry at me for saying that. It's like I'm just trying to fucking get people to react. I'm not like, I don't mean that every single guitar solo sucked, even though that I said all of them.
Oh yeah, you did say all of them, and that's why that's I was like, I'm not touching that. If you hadn't said all of them, then
I put all of them just to get people to react and get angry at me. I am trying to be provocative, but you can point out to any great guitar solo and say, yeah. Like he brought up the one on Peg, the guitar solo on Peg is one of the most unique. Steely Dan's Peg, one of the most unique approaches to a guitar solo I've ever heard, and I had to go listen to it again last night. Yeah, it's remarkable. So I will modify my statement there. There's an occasional really important and worthwhile guitar solo that isn't just there when the lead singer to catch his breath, but for the large majority, people just think, well, what do we do now? Throw in a guitar solo. It's like it became overdone, way overdone. Like put in a fucking ukulele. Ukulele.
There was a song that I've written, and this is back when I had a band they were learning the song so we could, because this is right after I did the CD and I was putting together a band to tour. And there's one song that the second guitarist kept saying, "Why isn't there a guitar solo here? Why isn't there a guitar solo here?" And the singer says, "Are you kidding? This is genius." He did, instead of a guitar solo, he says, "I'm singing. I have put words in instead of like he's actually singing where a person expects to be a guitar solo. He's singing a different melody, different from the regular vocals. He's just singing totally different as if it were a guitar solo."
Yeah.
And the singer liked that. He's like, "No, that's really genius." He says, you want the guitar solo there, but you're getting more vocals, And
I like this. Big beautiful Bill says DD isn't a musician, he's a melodic entertainer. Not so melodic, more like
melodic. Is it melodic?
I don't know. First of all, let's just clear this up. He's black. So that's rhythmic entertainer. Because they all could dance and they all got that rhythm, right? They all do. No.
I
know plenty of black dudes who are Stephen Urkels. They're fucking like.
Oh yeah.
You must have some white blood in you. Where did you get that tight ass from? I don't know. It's surprising when I come across a black guy who can't fucking count to 4 in time. It's like, what the fuck?
Whitney Houston couldn't dance.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's why she just swayed.
Especially early on. I think somebody probably got a hold of her at some point, a choreographer, and tried to kind of
they did.
Bobby Brown beat her into moving. He just do this and this, and she did.
That's how most of her dance steps are like this.
Hey, that's a great dance move you got going on there.
And you notice, like now, a lot of the dancers do this. They're like, they got all this stuff.
It's called the Bobby Brown shuffle. Oh, who's calling me now that I don't want to talk to? Hello, I'm not talking to you. Can you hear me?
And
good.
The head's going. The bob and weave.
Yeah. I raised a poor I was raised a poor black child. What are you, Steve Martin?
I think that's Stephen Martin. No. Stevie Ray Martin.
Steve Martin in The Jerk. He was raised a poor black child, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lenny, my friend, or my dead friend, my neighbor, who played Luca Brasi, is also in The Jerk. He played I don't know what his part was, but Steve Martin was moving into an exclusive Beverly Hills neighborhood after he got rich in that point, and he said Lenny's line was something like, "We're going to keep the niggas out." We're going to keep the niggas. And Steve Martin said, "Sir, I am a nigger." And then he punched him into the pool. You can't say that in the movie anymore, or you can, but yeah, you're going to get a whole bunch of, I can't believe a white guy said, well, yeah, but I don't know. But
I told you, okay, the my movie thing that I'm working on with the Jesus Mafia thing.
Yeah,
Godfellas. I was telling Dylan about it, and he looked at me such a dead. He goes like, "I don't know how that's going to work. I can't see that." That's it. And I looked at him and I said, "Are you kidding? I'm in hysterics over it." He goes, "I want to see it I want to see as you develop it, because I just can't picture it."
That's weird. He's not letting himself picture it for some reason, right?
Right. Now that's it. Now, because that is the one thing that Dylan and I, like I said, because we used to work together on Politipod, and there was once a week we get together and we share sketches, and Dylan would tear my sketches apart. He'd be like, "There's no jokes in it. You go on, and there's not one joke in here. There's not one setup punchline, setup punchline, setup punchline." And I said, "No, there isn't, but it's funny." And so all the actors thought it was funny, and the people who listen to the podcast will think my stuff was funny. And the other way I know that my stuff was really funny was the other writers started to imitate the way I was writing. And my wife noticed it. My wife goes, "They're starting to write like you are," except for Dylan. Dylan had his way of doing it. you know, and he was, and like even last night, Dylan said to me, I watched you. I watched some of you. I watched a lot of your material. He goes, you don't have like, you know, do you have 5 solid minutes of set up, punchline, set up, punchline, set up, punchline? I said, no, I don't. I said, no, I don't. I said, I don't write like that. I can't write like that. And that's not exactly true. I can write like that, but when I write like that and I read it, it doesn't feel natural to me.
Yeah.
I can be succinct. I mean, I did it last night. I wrote something and it was like, Dylan goes, you got too many words there. It's funny, but it's too many words. You don't need all those words. Can you get rid of half the words? And I did. And I read it and he goes, that's really funny. And I thought, that's really not the way I talk.
It's a lot of half the words is a lot to reduce from anything. Like, you want me to take the does and the it's and
yeah. Well, I'm sure because I used to work for Politipod and Matt Nisanoff, who, if you're listening, Matt, I've invited you on the show a lot, and I know you're not working in the morning right now. I know you got kid stuff, but still, you're not working. Matt Nisanoff from Politipod.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Come on, what the hell?
But every week he would say to me, you have too many words. The word count is over. I said, but it's under the time limit. You said, maximum 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Yeah, but you're like 200 words over. I said, but the pacing is like this. So the words are, it'll be great. It'll be great.
All right, let's go. Last night I finished up my top 10 stoner movies. And it's going to come out on YouTube today. I have a blog post that goes along with it. But I just want to read down the top 10 stoner movies.
I was going to say, are you going to read down the top 10 or are you going to tell us some of the movies that didn't make the top 10?
No, I'm going to read the top 10. Now, so okay. There are, I was trying to think of stoner like TV shows. I don't remember any, like, not like there would be a show dedicated to
stuff. HR Pumping Stuff was a stoner TV show, whether you know it or not.
I don't know.
But that was a stoner TV show.
I don't know. But here's
Rocky and Winkle was a stoner TV show.
Here's my top 10 stoner movies, and people can argue with or make a case against. My number 10, in the number 10 spot, I got Reefer Madness, the original from 1936. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't meant to be a comedy in any way. It was supposed to be meant to be a scare film. But if you watch that stoned, you will laugh your fucking ass off of how they portray pot smoking, weed smoking, whatever it is. It's just insane the way. And so I think it's one of the funniest stoner movies of all time.
Unintentionally funny.
Yeah, unintentionally very funny. Now, number 9, Half Baked, which is Dave Chappelle's movie.
Dave Chappelle and Neil Brennan. Did you see the interview? How that movie came about?
No.
Neil Brennan is telling the story. I think it's like at the Kennedy Center, and Dave Chappelle is in the audience. I think they may be honoring him. That's why they're talking about it.
I watched that. How the fuck did I miss that? Because I remember Neil Brennan's intro, because he kind of inducted Dave Chappelle into that Kennedy Center honors thing, right?
I think so. He's talking about he says he started getting requests from he has some clout in Hollywood as a writer, and so he had like 30 days to write something, and 29 days had gone by and he hadn't written anything, and so they reached out to him and says, how's it going? He was like, we have a great idea, and he says, I have a great idea, it'll be ready tomorrow, and he hadn't started working on anything yet, and so he reaches out, he calls Dave Chappelle, he goes, where? He says, I got Dave Chappelle, he says, it's half baked or something, and then he called Dave Chappelle to tell him about the movie. After he had already told him, I got this movie in Dave Chappelle, and then I called Dave Chappelle.
Wow. I do remember that part. Now, I must have been stoned. That's why I don't remember.
You must have been half-baked.
Yeah, I must have been. All right, next movie. Now, this is, I know people are going to say, that's way too low on the list. Up in Smoke, Cheech and Chong, one of the classic stoner movies of all time. I got that at number 8, only because there were some things in it that are just so fucking ridiculous.
Right.
Like a van made a weed. The guy's turning into lizards, starting Sudanko and all that stuff. Some of that stuff was just like so fucking off the wall. Number 7, Pineapple Express, Seth Rogen.
I never saw that one.
I never watched the whole thing either. To be honest with you, I watched.
I've never seen, like, if I've seen anything, it was a trailer, and that's it.
Yeah. Number 6, Super Troopers. Are you familiar with Super Troopers? Super Troopers follows a group of Vermont state troopers who love their weed almost as much as they love pranking each other.
Oh no, I was thinking of something else, maybe Starship Troopers, where they are fighting alien ants or some alien insects or something. That's all. Okay. I don't know Super Troopers.
Number 5 is a movie I have not watched. Why is it in my list? Because it's very popular, and I should have watched. It's about 1976, the last day of school in 1976. This is my era. I'm certain I was stoned on the last day of school in 1976, high school. Dazed and Confused, Matthew McConaughey. That's
never
the
saw
Matthew.
it.
I never saw it either, but it was so popular. I had to include it somewhere, so I just threw it in it. Number 5. The Big Lebowski at number 4. The Big Lebowski is not
all of that. I've seen bits and pieces.
It's not a stoner movie, but the character is a stoner. Now, Jeff Bridges, the other day I watched a video where he had to explain. He had to get his daughter's permission to be in this movie, to say it's about stuff that I wouldn't model for you as a parent and all. And like, hello, you were in fucking King Kong. You think your kids believe that you were fucking a King Kong hunter? I mean, they know the difference between acting and reality, right?
Yeah, but the chances are his daughter encountering King Kong in public, as opposed to encountering, let's say, pot in public, or it's different.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not a whole lot of weed thing. He's smoking weed in the car, and the head falls off into his lap, and he's burning his dick, and he almost crashes the car. I mean, that's a good lesson for the kids, right? Don't smoke weed and drive.
Yeah, especially if you have a dick.
Yeah. Number 3, Friday.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah, I never seen it either, but it's so popular.
Or the sequel next Friday, or the Friday after that. I think there's 3 of them.
Yeah, there is.
I never saw them.
But it's so highly rated as far as numbers and all that stuff. It needed a place in there, and I know Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, it's popular. Number 2, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Now, I have seen that one. That's fucking funny. Do you have White Castles in Maryland?
Yes, we did. We did White Castles, yeah.
I don't think the whole country does, right?
I don't think. They were big enough that I think everybody in the country knew what they were, who they were. I mean, if you wrote a song and referenced White Castle, I think everybody knew what it was. But I'm not sure if everybody had one.
See,
but they were a chain. Let me see. You can keep talking. I'm going to Google if White Castle. How big the chain? How big was the White Castle chain?
Yeah. When I was a kid, they were only in Queens. You had to drive from Long Island. You had to drive to Queens. And my brother loved them so much. I always fucking hated them. They were like the tiniest little hamburgers, mostly onion.
Yes.
More onion than meat. I don't know. I never, but I'm surprised that Go to White Castle, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle was so well received. I mean, if they would have made it McDonald's or Burger King, I think a lot more people would have been able to relate. And
they started in 1921. They had 345 locations in 13 states.
Wow.
In the Midwest, it said presence in the Midwest and New York metropolitan. They started in Kansas City.
And the number 1 stoner movie.
Yeah.
Cheech and Chong's next movie.
Okay.
Yeah. They made quite a few of them there. There's Things Are Rough All Over and whatever. I just think that's probably their best stoner movie. Came out in 1980. I haven't watched it in a while. I'm going to rewatch it because I made it number 1. So that will come out today. That video. I don't know. I'm just trying to do something for the Weed World channel that I started, which I haven't published anything to in over a month. So, you run out of ideas. Weed World. What can you fucking make a video about? I've already done how to make gummies on your own. The difference between THCA and regular THC, and what else can I fucking possibly do for Weed World? I started the channel without thinking. It's really a limited subject. How to light a joint. Can I do a how to light a joint? I could do it on how to hold a carburetor on a bowl where they put the carburetor right next to the bowl and the lighter will burn your fingers. I could probably do one on that.
How about this? It's called Make a Bong. How about a thing called Can You Make a Bong Out of This? And then people can send you ideas. People can send you ideas. It's like I have an old bowling trophy. Can you make a bong out of this? And then you find a way to make a bong out of a bowling trophy.
Yeah. This was a big thing when I was a kid. Like because you didn't have papers, you didn't have a pipe available. Right. Make it out of an apple. Make it out of a Coke can.
Right. But nowadays you have so many more things. Now the tricky part is that almost everything is made out of plastic these days. Back then, almost everything was made out of wood and metal, so we didn't have a lot of plastic growing up.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying we didn't use plastic, but it wasn't as prevalent as now. Like now, even like half your drinks and your food comes in plastic. Back then, most of your food came in like cans and paper.
Pee-wee's Playhouse was a stoner show. Yeah,
it was. Yes.
I think the only line I remember from Pee-wee's Playhouse was the shoe mirrors. There was a little girl and they wanted to see up her dress, so they put mirrors on. Pee-wee put mirrors on his shoes to kind of like put it under her dress.
I know there's a difference between Pee-wee's Playhouse and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. The movie
that's a movie, yeah.
Right. The Playhouse was like a Broadway play.
Yeah,
but they filmed it.
I think Phil Hartman. If I'm not mistaken, Phil Hartman was still a friend of Pee-wee's on that, and he was
up until he got the gig at Saturday Night Live.
This is an original post that we never see anything like this come across. Somebody named Joiny says, "Hey, friend, I thank you for calling me friend.
I think that meant me. Go ahead, but you go ahead.
I saw your channel and noticed you're posting great content. You haven't seen my channel." I've never posted great content. I defy
Maybe
you.
She meant like your English channel.
Okay. However, you need more followers and views to increase your engagement and achieve verification or partner status within a month. I have partner status on YouTube. That's enough. We have whatever. I can help you get 25 subscribers in 3 days. 25 subscribers. That's what? 25 subscribers. You're gonna make money off of 25 subscribers somehow. We'll get you closer to the $1,000 to earning $1,000 a month. Or for 25 fucking, I don't know.
Well, feel free to subscribers. They're really big subscribers.
So I'm gonna offer you the same thing. Work on spec. If you can do this, why not take a cut? If you don't have your own channel, I mean, why are you coming to me? I'm like, why me? Why do you come to me with this generous offer? I'm doing my Don Corleone here. That GD has still not gotten to, which is early, probably only 25 minutes into the movie.
I'm 19 or 20 minutes into the movie, but I haven't had time because I'm working on my friend's show, which we run into. Like once I leave here, I'm going to they're going on location. They're on location. So when I leave here, I'm going to go to a church to shoot those scenes. They finish shooting around 7. Then I come home, I eat, I do the other things that I do. And then I practice for an hour or two for the show July 19th. I don't have time to watch a 3-hour movie just yet.
Practice.
After July 19th, I will be able to watch it.
You actually, what do? You run through the entire show like you're doing it in front of an audience, but do it to a wall?
Right. Actually, 2 video cameras.
Wow.
I set up 2 video cameras so I can practice moves and stuff like that. And also box myself so that I don't walk off out of the set, out of the frame. And also I'm practicing different versions because like one of the things I really like to do. Okay, I'm a terrible tambourine player. In case I didn't know this about me.
There's no such thing as a non-terrible tambourine player.
I'll just say I didn't know this about me. I learned this when I started doing song parodies, and the first one I did, and I tried to do what was it? The first song parody I video recorded. And it's like I spent a week on it. Not even a lot of time. It was "Can't Get There From Here" by REM, and it was when Kavanaugh during the Kavanaugh hearings, and he says, "I like beer." There was a little snippet. It goes, "I like beer. I drink beer," and I took that snippet and I inserted it into "Can't Get There From Here," my parody, and so the song became "You Drink Too Much Beer." And so that was a parody, and it starts off with the percussion starts off like this, like boom, boom, and then so I had a tambourine, and then I was trying to do that. And there's just so much rattling. It was like I cut out the tambourine. I just couldn't do it, and so I never did get it finished. And I'm still bad at tambourine, but I've gotten better at it recording wise. Live, I can't do it. So I'm trying to. But I do want to play the tambourine with my foot, because I some songs it helps, to have like a little filler.
I think they should outlaw the sale of tambourines. The worst thing that can happen if you're on a gig, like a cover gig, regular or wedding gig or whatever, any gig where you're just doing it for the money. It's not really you're doing it for all the art. And you see a white girl walking in with a tambourine. It's just like, get me a fucking razor blade, man. This is because she's gonna ruin everybody's rhythm. The drummer is gonna be thrown off by her, but other people, it's just the worst. Stop! Don't bring.
I've seen good tambourine players. I really have, and I'm going like, whoa, that's pretty, because that's pretty good, I've seen good tambourine players. Have you ever been in a drum circle?
I have to say, you're absolutely Bashiri Johnson, who was a triple scale percussionist. I hired for one gig. He was every disco record and every dance record from 1979 through 1990, somewhere in there. Bashiri is on every one of those as a percussionist. You could look up. Credit Bashir Johnson, but he was an amazing tambourine player. He did things with a tambourine that would just like you look at him and say, how the fuck is he doing that? Because it's got this weird like motion and doing two hands and just making it sound like really syncopated and all that stuff. But for the most part, anybody who touches that instrument or whatever it is instrument, they think they can play it. Like he plays it, and they can't. They just shake it, and it just becomes a noisemaker. It's not a music.
Now, I've gotten better. Like some of my song parodies I've recorded and put on YouTube where I'm using a tambourine. I had to do it in post. I couldn't do it. I don't think you'll ever see any more videos of me trying to play a tambourine live. I can't. It's terrible. I have to do it in post. It's awful. It sounds bad. I just can't do it.
I wish I could find that tape. That's one of the ones that got lost in the flood. I had master tapes that got lost in the flood. The 1991 October 30th flood. But it's incredible because he played congas on that. He played tambourine. He played a bunch of percussion instruments. It was just it made the track. Without that, the track was just like another rock track. But it was just like all of a sudden everybody had to dance. A percussionist makes a track.
Now, have you ever done a drum circle?
Yes. Oh boy.
I'm just reason I'm saying because I did one in Asheville, North Carolina. Well, I've done a couple, two, but they were both in Asheville, North Carolina. And I really would like to start one in Westminster, where I am now. I'd love to start a drum circle. We have a park not too far from here. But there's nothing but white people. I think it would ruin it. No, I'm just teasing. I'm joking.
No, you're not joking.
I am joking.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
you think you're joking.
Okay, I think I'm joking.
Yeah. in the cult, they added Barbara Brennan School of Healing, referring to as a cult. Yes, you can hate me for that, but it's true. They had drum circles almost every class. They had a drum circle. There was a drum circle instructor. Her name was White Buffalo, Native American, who had all the drums were homemade. She had this big kettle drum that was homemade. And stop barking, please. Can you hear her barking?
It's just Steven trying to get in.
She probably knows I'm talking about the White Buffalo thing. Her drum was finished with period blood, menstrual blood. And
hers or
hers. But now because there's 1,200 students, mostly women, and they're all following her lead now. So everybody is playing their own homemade drum, finished with period blood all over it's just like, that does not authenticate your drumming.
Well, I guess after a while the blood stops smelling because of the bacteria. So, but they must go through a phase.
It turns like brownish purple or whatever.
Right. But it has to go. It has to go to the phase where bacteria is causing the blood to smell bad. Where do you keep the drum at that time?
I never got any answers on like why, like how, what is, why would you do that? How does that make the drum any better? How does it make anything? What is the relevance? I'm bleeding out my hole. I gotta take that blood. I never got a good answer on that. Maybe I should Google it now, 30 years later, and come up with a why do Native Americans cover their...
Okay, I'm going to share something with you, Matt, then I'm going to ask you the same question. There was a song, it was a popular song, and there was the only song I can think of where they used a didgeridoo, and I keep forgetting the name of the song.
It's not Aerosmith "Sweet Forgiveness" because that's in there.
Oh, okay, but I didn't know that. But there was another song there's one song that I did know. It came out around the same time as Chumbawamba's. I get knocked down, I get up again, and they used a didgeridoo, and I liked it so much that I went out and bought a didgeridoo because I intended on using it on my second CD. I never used it. I've never played it in public. Same thing with the rain stick. I bought a rain stick so that I could use it on a CD. I never used it. Is there anything that you bought with the intention of using it that you just went, once you got it, either you never learned to play it or just never used it?
Lots.
Oh.
Triangles, bells, whistles.
I've used triangles and bells and whistles.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, when I bought the whistle, I was already.
Now, is this a regular whistle or slide
whistle?
Yeah,
it's a code like a sports whistle. But I was already so hearing impaired that I can't hear the whistle when I'm blowing it. And I don't know if it's even recording or not. It just sounds like wind. I can't hear that pitch. So I was like, what the fuck am I even using? Because when it came to recording it, I kept, oh yeah, I hear that whistle. I don't fucking hear it. I don't know how to mix it if I don't hear it. So
I guess it's just the frequency that you don't hear that frequency that the whistle is blowing at.
Yeah. Now, some Native American traditions have a specific beliefs and practices regarding women and drums, particularly concerning menstruation. It's important to understand that these beliefs are rooted in cultural and spiritual frameworks and are not universal across Native American tribes. Yeah, all right. That's some kind of answer. I still don't know what the fuck it means. Yesterday you brought up harps.
Yes, I love harps.
1983, I was working on a song called Stardust, and I thought it really needs an orchestral harp here. And like, who the fuck plays harp? I can figure it out in the studio. Yeah. So I called up, I went through a directory, and I had a guy coming from New Jersey to Islip, New York, Ian London Studios, to bring a harp. And I think it cost me like $300 for the rental and another $150 for the transportation and all that stuff. And I'm going to lay down the harp overdub without ever fucking knowing how to play a harp at all. And the guy who's showing up, the engineer, Kenny, what the fuck is Kenny Wallace? He said to me, well, somebody's knocking at the door. They say, I have a delivery here for you. I was like, yeah, it's a harp. He goes, why did you rent a harp? I said, because he goes, do you even know how to play a harp? Like, no, you're not going to get what you want. He said, I have an emulator here. Tell me what you want. And I said, I want the big swoosh in D, like a glissando from. And he go, oh, here you go, and put it on there. So, here's your $450. Thanks for bringing the harp go home. So, yeah, it's like a lot of those things that I bought it to put on a record. And then I realized there's a sample that does exactly what I need. Why am I going through all that? Somebody's already
we did that with like I said, the whistle, and actually even that was like by mistake, because what there was when the band used to play the song live, he had a different synthesizer, and when we went to the studio, he didn't have the synthesizer, so he used my keyboard. I think he used my keyboard, but anyway, it didn't have the same sound, so we wound up using. I had a whistle, but he wound up using the keyboard whistle because it had different pitches.
Yeah.
You know? And so I got this whistle. I'm like, what am I going to use it for? So now I told my bicycle. So if I'm ever in trouble, I can blow my whistle. You know, it's around my neck when I'm riding. So if I'm in an accident, my phone flies off, I still have my whistle.
And the neighborhood football game will all go.
They all stop, and the kiddie pool will clear out. All the kids will get out of the pool.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm still in the woods dying.
Yeah.
But all the rapists will have left.
Hey,
the rapists will have left.
Wow. Whatever. All right, we've reached that point in the show where there's nothing left to even fucking talk about, is there? What is it? Stop and Shop is sending me stuff. You know, I used to be the Stop and Shop house band. Did you know that about me? I don't know if you knew this about me. There's a video that I have on YouTube. It's called "Watch What Happens on a Sunday Morning." In the grocery store. Basically, I used to do grand openings, acoustic solo. They'd hire me to go and do jazz standards at fucking Stop and Shop throughout the East Coast, Northeast. And opening day, grand opening, and they'd have a guitar player. And then one day, Tom, who ran that thing, said, I need a band. A band? So I called up a couple of friends. This is Saturday night. They need it for the next morning, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. You had the people coming from church to Hampton Bays, which is an upscale kind of, it's the Hamptons. And so go play what you do in a grocery store on a Sunday morning. And they set us up in between the drugstore part of it and the beer part of it. So we're like in the corner, musicians between the drugs and the beer, which makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then people walking past us Sunday morning shopping in a grocery store, and they're looking like, what the fuck is a band doing here? Like, and it was just guitar, bass, and drums. One guy came up to me and said, because we just did You May Be Right, Billy Joel. Right. The guy came up to me and said, are you guys a Billy Joel tribute band? That's like what you do. You're all Billy Joel. Like, there's no fucking piano here. Hello. How? Yeah, we're a Billy Joel tribute band, piano man tribute band with no piano. But that was one of the more bizarre gigs. And that kind of inspired me to try to do a mockumentary about a band that never played any traditional venues. Like they play, I don't know, an oil change, a Jiffy Lube, and a grocery store, and maybe, I don't know, a barbershop or something weird like that. Couldn't get any traction behind that. But I think that would be an unusual kind of tour.
I just did a search for popular songs with didgeridoo, and Aerosmith doesn't show up. I think I have 15 songs here. Sunrise.
How do you spell didgeridoo? Because I don't.
D-I-D. G. Well, I spelled it with a J, but they got it with a G. D-I-D-G-E-R-I-D-O-O, and I had, instead of the G, I had a J.
And you got no results?
I got 15 results, but none with Aerosmith. Now, there's one song called "Son of." Now it says. Now I said pop songs. I said popular songs. Okay, that's not pop, but popular songs. So one is "Sun Arise" by Rolf Harris. "I Will Survive" by Gloria Gaynor. This Garden by the Levelers. Didgeridoo by Aphex Twin. Baba by Midnight Oil. Lion in a Coma, Animal Collective. The Dreaming by Kate Bush. Mango Pickle Downriver, MIA. Let Me Be, Xavier Rudd. Where Even the Darkness is Something to See by Coil. Gunpowder Chant by Diablo Swing Orchestra. Digiorama by Jamiroquai. Yira, that's Yirra, Curl, Kurl by Xavier Rudd, and Free Tibet by Vinny Vici Remix.
Yeah, I want to.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Free Tibet Vinny Vici Remix by Highlight Tribe.
I want to correct the misinformation that I put out there. Aerosmith did not use a didgeridoo; they used a vibra slap on. Which is a completely different thing. But you mentioned Midnight Oil. I think they had something called didgeridoo solo? Like it was just didgeridoo. Like
I don't know, but if it did, it didn't make this list as popular. You know, here are some popular songs that feature the didgeridoo. So maybe the song may not have been popular by this search's standards.
I would never be able to spell didgeridoo. Didgeridoo, right? Didgeridoo or whatever.
Well, like I said, I happen to have one, so I had to.
But the Gloria Gaynor thing, well, we can't play it here because I'll get a copyright strike. I've never heard it in there. I got to listen to. I would do it right now. I'd pull it up and say, "Where the fuck did they just bury it in the mix?" I don't hear it. Do you
I don't know. No, and now I want to hear it. I want to go back and hear it. And now I'm wondering because there's also another instrument that's not a didgeridoo, but it's the thing that they used to play at soccer matches. That horn thing, that. But no, that's not a didgeridoo. And you can't confuse that with the didgeridoo.
Yeah. I don't know. Now it's like I feel like maybe the engineer said, "Sure, go ahead and play it. We'll just bury it in the mix." So fucking annoying.
Now you've been on a few movie sets, TV sets.
I guess.
Yesterday we're doing a scene, and this is like it turns out it was supposed to be the last take of the shot. They shot like this one scene, they take it like maybe 10 different versions. You know, shoot it from this angle, shoot it from this angle, shoot it from this angle. Get way close, get way far. You know, get up and down, that kind of thing. And so, okay, so it's like roll sound, set, action, and I had to cough. And it was like 40 seconds of just him on a rowing machine. So it's dead silence. You know, it's just him on the rowing machine waiting for a phone call. Right, go like this, and it's 40 seconds, and then they do the voiceover that he's doing. They're gonna add the other stuff in post. It goes ring ring, and then he stops and he picks up their phone and he does the dialogue for the phone dialogue because they're gonna add that in later, and I have to cough, and I'm sitting there, my eyes are welling up, and I'm thinking, I know how long the scene is supposed to be. You know, because it's like, okay, it's like they shot to get to the end of the dialogue, and it's like, okay, cut, and he didn't. They says keep rolling, shoot it again. And I'm like, I'm dying. Tears are running down my face, and I look over because I'm trying to see how long is this going to go. I'm looking for a sign or something, and the lady next to me, she's the makeup lady. She's got tears coming down her eyes also. She had to cough too, and we're both holding a cough. So as soon as they hit cut, we were like, I was just wondering if you'd ever had to, hold your cough.
Not for film stuff, but I would just say this. That's an easy edit out. I mean, especially if it's nothing but rowing noises in there. You can go and cut that audio and just get one segment of the rowing noise and just kind of paste it over it. I would just cough. I would just let it go. I've had that shit happen on music gigs where I'm singing and all of a sudden I'm feeling it in my throat and I can't clear my throat and all that stuff. That's I had that happen last week when I was doing a 4.5 hours of singing straight and out in a hot sun and like feeling it, and I got.
Yeah, I had that. Well, it was the other night I was practicing in it. Actually, when I was on the cruise ship, I was doing a song parody on the cruise ship. In the middle of the song, my throat got, and actually had to change my pitch. Like I almost had to start singing like a deeper harmony because I didn't want it to go like a whole octave lower to sing it, to sing the pitch. So I just went like a third or a fifth lower and sang the harmonies until I could get my throat back.
Yeah. No, that let's take it from 19 angles shit. That will wear out actors. Did anybody start to lose their energy, patience, and all that? Because this is one lesson that I learned trying to make films 30 years ago, is if you make them do it too many times, it gets worse each time. You reach a place where it's just going to get worse each time, and you're burning your actors out. And basically, after you're done with that one scene, you're going to have to send everybody home because everybody is just angry, frustrated. Any of that shit going on when they were doing that?
Well, there was one scene where the antagonist and the protagonist are meeting like face to face for the first time in the movie or in the show, and they're meeting each other, and they do this doubt. They do it like on so many times that they got to the point where they were forgetting their lines. You know, they were like, and they're looking at each other, and then they look over at the script writing, go like line, and they just did it like 4 times, 5 times, 6, 10 times. And by like the 12th, 13th time, they really, and it's really, and I was getting confused. I was like, how can you do it so often you forget the lines? But it's not that they forgot the lines. They're just exhausted. Their brains are just tired. And it's like, I don't know what to do next. So it's not like they forgot the lines. It's like their brain was just so tired.
Yeah.
And they were doing the same thing over and over again.
And it makes, like, I read Sidney LeMay's book on directing, and he basically said never overshoot stuff. It just makes everybody's job really hard, and especially in the editing process. You have too much footage to go through, finding the right shot. Shoot what you want instead of shooting more than, because the idea most directors have is shoot more than we need. We'll just leave a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor. That will make your life miserable.
Now, the only thing, the things my philosophy is I shoot what I want, and then just in case there's a mistake that I didn't catch, I would shoot something akin to like a reaction shot, something I could just edit. That's not important. It's just like a cutaway. You know, I shoot some cutaways and like B-roll. And so if I get like, when I'm editing, I go like, oh shit, I did not want that in there. Yeah. And I'll go like, okay, here's a cutaway to me tapping my foot. Because most of it's just song parodies or whatever, it's comedy shit.
I would cut away to Charlie Kirk scratching his anus. That's always a good cutaway.
That's B-hole roll though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul Provender, who directs a lot of comedy specials, says he hates. I'm just trying to get your take on this. He hates cutaways to showing the audience laughing. What's your take on it? Do you agree with that? Because to me, somehow, because you're not in a comedy club, you're not experiencing the people around you. I think there's some value to knowing that people are really enjoying this and laughing hard at it. And for me, watching a special, I think it can be overdone, like people constantly going to the audience laughing. But I think every now and then, I think it adds some value to it. What's your take on it?
For me, it would be used as, again, cutaway shit. Like there's a mistake that you need to cover up, and it's like, okay, like you got the audio, it came out right, and let's say the audience, the comedian did something stupid with their face, or the camera, or they walked out of frame momentarily, the camera didn't file. Yeah, then they put in
that's his objection to it. What you just pointed out is he said that, but he's looking at it from a professional standpoint, saying, "I know that's what happened. That he must have had a bad shot of the comedian there, or he walked out of frame, or something like that. So, like, cover it with audience reaction."
Now,
and that bothers him.
Now, I did. There was one shot. There was one. Was it the It's called The Disillusionist, and one of the part of the opening scene, the opening sketch, is me as an embryo. And so I stick. So what the audience sees is me sticking my head out of a vagina to talk to them. That's what the audience sees. And then there's a camera that was set up in the back that's supposed to shoot me, from the back. We called it badge cam. It's like supposed to be a shot from me from inside the womb, and it was like grainy. So the audience doesn't see it, but it was. So when we did the DVD or the video, we'd have that footage, cutting back and forth from inside. We called it badge cam. And so, and the idea was supposed to shoot me and the audience. No, I'm sorry. It was supposed to be just me and the person who set up the camera just before we went live, before we said act, before the show started. They didn't zoom in tight enough, and so the shot was totally useless to me. And so I wound up having to like enlarge it post, so it was just me, because they didn't want the audience in there.
The vag cam wasn't tight enough.
Right, the vag cam wasn't tight enough. We had to tighten up the vag cam.
I would be remiss right now if I did not show our own very personal Mind Dog TV vag cam.
Soft and pink. She comes without a head, but at least she'll never shit the bed. You need a fake rubber squeeze, be like Stephen Ortiz. Lube it up, it's so soft. Get you 10% off. He goes to Tantalene. He goes to Tantalene. He goes to Tantalene. He goes to Tantalene.
That's enough. I didn't even get to the vag cam. I'm just bored with that commercial. I got to do a new commercial for Tantalene.
Okay.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I thought you did an excellent job on it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think I did a bad job on it, but I'm just tired of that one. Like, let's do it.
I understand. I've been there. You know, you want to do something like I'm not going to answer for you. You answer for yourself, unless you can't, and then you need me to answer for you. But sometimes you do something that's really good, and you think to yourself, I can do that better.
I've never done anything really good.
Or you look at it and go like, yeah, okay, I can do that, but what if I did this? Tweaked it this way, that way. It's like other possibilities.
I'm always thinking, well, I should have done this, I should have done that, but I've never done anything really good. In my opinion, everything I've done has fallen way short of really good.
Well, I know everything I've done has fallen short of my expectations or what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is my talent is not my actual talent is not as good as my vision for what I want to do with my talent.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. Do you have any interest in podcasting made simple live, a conference that Podmatch is putting on? Do you have any interest in attending that? It's it's in Los Angeles, but they do a remote thing. They're offering free tickets to the show. So.
I thought that's what we were doing, making it simple. Or do they mean something else by simple?
I don't know what they're going to be talking. Yeah, it doesn't seem like podcasting is like all that difficult. You turn on a microphone, you record it.
Maybe they're talking about how to get the most out of it with the least amount of money. Maybe that's what they mean by simple.
I don't know, but it's
because with the podcast, the biggest thing is sound. I guess.
Apparently, they have like thousands of people attending this thing. I don't.
Oh my God! I hope those are people who already have podcasts, and not 1,000 people who are looking to do podcasts.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, it's already too many fucking people doing podcasts.
Less so. There are less so because in 2020, when the pandemic hit, there was everybody just we're stuck at home. We might as well, and so billions of podcasts, but a lot of those have faded. I know many of them, people who were becoming friends of mine, because I started before the pandemic. They were, oh, you do this, what do you, and they were kind of like asking me for advice and all that shit. And now a lot of them are back to whatever they did before. They gave up on it because they couldn't make any money with it. A lot of people, yeah, I think I'll make a dime with it. No, you won't make a dime with it.
No, you will make a dime with it. It'll just take you 3 years to do it.
No, you'll end up having to take a second and third mortgage on your house just to keep doing it. That's what you're not good. But so they're offering free tickets, and I'm like, I don't know. What am I going to gain out of this fucking thing? What? It's like hours and hours of attending people talking. No, I fucking have enough of that every fucking morning. So I don't know. I just don't know. The latest thing, then, this has got me fucking confused as hell. And I know you are no fan of AI to begin with, but there's this AI podcast. You don't even have to do anything. AI will do your podcast for you. Now I'm like, is it AI just talking to AI? What? It's a make-believe voice talking about whatever you tell it to talk about. I mean, I can't wrap my head around how it could be applied, AI, to doing your own podcast without you having to do anything. Like being on the podcast, it's almost like the music thing. I'd rather play music than tell a robot to play music. You got any idea what that might be about? AI podcast?
The only thing I can think of is that some people have difficulty. I've seen this on Facebook where, like, you'll have let's say you have an individual has a Facebook page, and AI will create the idea for you for your post. So, like, somebody had a post that said, great ideas for song parodies, and it was an AI generated question. And so I responded to that person. I said, well, if I have a great idea for a song parody, I'm not going to burn it here. Yeah. I said, I'm not going to, I do song parodies. I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot and say, here's a great idea. No. So I just said, here's one I did that I thought was a great idea, but I'm not giving you a great idea. Another one.
AI podcast generator. Explore the capabilities of automated title generation, transcripts, and chapter markers. That's different. That's you do it, and it does the editing for you, right? That's different. Create podcasts with AI, all done for you. Like AI podcast generator. Create podcasts instantly. Generates podcasts in minutes using Hey Gen AI podcast generator. Turn text into audio and voiceovers, music, and more. No recording needed. Start free today. I just read that in a commercial.
I'm sorry. And then who owns it when you're done?
It doesn't make any like. I want the world to hear robots that I don't. Hey, robot, talk about comedy for an hour. And what do I do then? I'm not going to make money off it. Maybe that's the thing. They're trying to entice people thinking, oh yeah, the podcasting road is paved in gold. No, it's paved in dog shit. Is what's paved.
I know. Before I got too busy to do critical joke theory, I just got so inundated I couldn't do it because I spent a lot of time. The writing it took a few hours. The recording. But it was the editing that took so much time. Inserting finding the footage, the clips, the pictures to go in and stuff, like doing the editing. That's what took so long. Yeah. I can't imagine me. I would, even with all the work that I put into it. I can't imagine me letting AI do that stuff for me.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that I'm sick of hearing all of these AI voices. First of all, I see these things all over TikTok. They're AI generated shorts. They have choices of voices. Why is it all using the same fucking voice? Why? Why? I mean, they can pick like from at least four. What?
I want to find something for you. I did one the other day using AI because let me backtrack a little bit really quickly. On going to that gig on at Massapequa, I was going through a neighborhood that I used to frequent a lot. I knew the area well. It's a hospital. I was expecting to see a hospital there, and Avalon Luxury Apartments had taken over the apartment. And then Northwell had built a city of hospital and medical stuff all on one campus. And it was amazing how big the thing was. But I tried to do a video using AI about the consequences of corporations taking over our healthcare stuff.
Right.
And here I'm gonna, but I wanted to use a AI voice. Hold on one second. I'm gonna pull this up and share it because let me stop it before. Yeah. Let me stop here and play it. I wanted to use an AI voice, but it decided, to my surprise, not to use my AI voice. Here's what I told it to use a clear American voice, which I've done in many cases.
The corporatization of American healthcare has become a central focus in contemporary discussions about the state and future of medical services in the United States.
That's my voice.
Version of you.
That's my voice.
Yeah, it sounds like you muted. It's almost like they muted your voice a little bit.
Exactly. I can't read that well.
The corporatization of American healthcare.
Let me turn it off.
Patient care and
But
consumer interest.
It's like a 7-minute video, and it sounds exactly like me all the way through. Only a better version of me that can actually read very clearly and use punctuation and stuff. I didn't ask it to do that. How the hell did this happen? It turns out it goes through, it analyzes this program and takes my inflections and the way I speak and put it into that. So I've never said those words. That's not a recording of me. It sounds like it would fool me.
Yeah,
I got to record.
It sounds to me like it was you with a different mic.
Yeah,
you know, like the mic was either flat or the mic was muted or something. But yeah, it sounds like you with a different mic.
It blew my mind to hear that, because I was expecting that typical voice that I use on all those reels. That was Nat Mappo. Yeah, you're right. Hey, Craig, while we got you, good morning. Any flooding? I mean, Albuquerque doesn't get flooding, but Rio Doso, we've seen some terrible things going on there. How are things by you? I know I'm talking to a chat room. I'm not going to get much of a quick give and take here, but you're okay, and people around you okay. That's what I'm asking.
And if you do want to discuss it, Craig, just say so. We'll send you the link, and you can actually pop in and actually tell us what's going on if you feel up to that.
I think he's at his he works for the government, CIA or whatever.
Oh, okay. I thought he was naked and afraid.
Yeah. Actually, I believe he's the CEO of Netflix in Albuquerque. Here's what Rio Doso can't catch a break. Had fatalities down there. Yeah, but we saw.
Okay, for people who can't see this is a sequence here. I'm going to read this just like this. He goes, Rio Doso just can't catch a break. We had fatalities down there. Then the next post says,
that's taken out of context. He's ha-ha-haing at me saying he works for the CIA. I don't really know.
Oh, okay.
Or the CEO of Netflix in Albuquerque.
Okay. That's
he's not laughing at the fatalities. No.
Okay. That's what I was reading. Is like, they can't catch a break.
Yeah. I had I can't read. There goes. What?
I was trying.
It goes back to the fires from a couple of summers ago. Yeah. I had Rio Doso. We used to go there a lot, the racetrack and all. But I found like the Rio Doso was the least friendly community in New Mexico, all of New Mexico. Like they had a nose for outsiders. Like, we were just coming from Clovis or Portales or whatever. Oh, you ain't from around here. You don't belong here. I mean, we got a lot of that, and you don't get that in New Mexico. Generally, New Mexico.
I love New Mexico. I didn't go to Rio Doso, but probably because when you look at the way it's spelled, I wouldn't have pronounced it like that.
Yeah, Ruidoso. Ruidoso is how it's spelled. Right? Oh, look! Somebody wants to send me followers and stuff. Do it on
that's different.
On Kick. Well, keep in mind, although I've been a member of Kick for like 5 years or so, we only started using it 3 weeks ago. Whatever you see as the followers and numbers on there, I'm sure it will grow because we'll be getting a lot more stream sellers. People who want to sell me bots or bots themselves will be following us to leave me a message that they want to send me bots, so the numbers will grow.
I think I'm insulted, man, because the Reverend does the show and it's on Kick, and he hasn't gotten not one person trying to help expand his audience. It's almost like they're saying we can't expand your audience. What's the use?
Yeah, you want followers for free? Become friends with Elizabeth Croydon. She will.
Yes.
On Blue Sky, I think I have like 4,000 followers, all due to her. I mean, I got like 5 or 6 who are actually people who know me, and the other 4,000 are all people who followed me because Elizabeth tagged me in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so. I the same thing. I think I had 10 people on Blue Sky, and Elizabeth says, "Are you on Blue Sky?" I went, "Yeah." She goes, "How many followers you have?" I said 10. She goes, "Give me a minute," and literally it's like, she says, "Check now," and it's like 300 something in like a minute. I mean, but she typed in, and the thing is, I tried to do what she did, and I don't know because I was on my phone or my computer, but the two softwares aren't the same. So the thing that she was telling me to do, I could not do like she was doing, because you have the mobile app version and the computer app version, and so I was not able to share the same way that she shared.
Yeah.
She did something stupid. She was saying, all you have to do is, I'm like, I'm trying to do that. I don't have that option.
Nobody loves me. They love her. People love her. I mean, if she says jump, everybody says, how high? How high? How high you want me to jump?
Well, yeah, but I mean, Elizabeth, she's been around a long time, and she's, I really love her sense of humor. I think she's really good at what she does. She's not your traditional stand-up comedian,
But she seems to. I want to put this. She seems to have a lot of friendships, acquaintances.
Yeah.
With famous people, a lot of famous people.
Yeah. Well, she did her time out in. Again, I'm going to show my ignorance. The place where Mitzi did the
Comedy Store.
She spent a lot of time out there. She was very close to Mitzi's son, Pauly Shore.
Oh, yeah. Louise.
Yeah, she was very close to Pauly Shore. And those people out there, she was in with Barry Katz, those people out there. Wow. So much so that I was on Barry Katz's pod thing, his group thing.
Blueprint for the Blue Bitty Beat.
Right. And Elizabeth and I were texting each other back and forth on my phone while I was watching on my computer. And she'd asked me something, and I said, "Well, I can't do that right now. I'm in Barry Katz's such and such. It's on my computer, but I can get that file for you. But right now, I'm in Barry Katz's thing."
I'm sorry, I can't listen to you right now. I'm in Barry Katz's panty drawer.
You're right. And so she goes, Barry Katz. I said, "Yes." She says, "Tell him I said hi. Tell him I send my love. Blah blah blah." And the family. And I'm like, okay. And so while he was in, I interrupted him. No, I mean, but I got a chance to talk. I said, "Excuse me, Barry, I hate to, I said, I just want to mention this real quick. Elizabeth Croydon said to tell you hi, and she sends her love." He goes, "Elizabeth Croydon, tell her I love her. Tell her I love her," and something like that. I'm like, Barry Katz doesn't get, I don't get that. He doesn't love me like that, but he loves Elizabeth Croydon.
Yeah, well, that's nice to know. I'll drop her name. Yeah, it's important to know whose name to drop. Let me.
You can't drop it with everybody because of the nature of the beast. There's some places in New York where she's loved, and some places in New York where they're like, "What's that skank doing here today?"
Oh,
yeah. There's a couple of places, and it's just like literally, it's like tips, little tiny tips.
Allow me to burn a bridge, if I may.
Sure. Oh, are you about to burn a bridge, or you're doing your impersonation of Elizabeth
No,
Gordon?
I think I'm about to. I don't know. Abby Russell. I guess I am about to burn a bridge. No, I like Abby. Six and Stone
Yeah,
comedy.
wait, because she's supposed to be doing my done way past funny, so don't burn that bridge yet. But go ahead.
She's not going to show up for that. She's a flake. I'm sorry. No, she'll show up for that. She's not a flake. I like Abby. She's a very good person, good heart, and very accomplished. But
Yeah.
there's a button here. She's for at least 6 months now, probably more, probably like a year. She's been talking about starting this podcast for Six and Stones Comedy Club, which she owns and is the proprietor of. And she asked for some help, and I'm glad to help. And then I said I would come out and set up cameras and audio equipment and do all that for her, and I would do it for free on spec, because to be part of a comedy club that is growing and have access to all the comedians, not that she's bringing in people who I really want to be close to, but I think I want to keep the door open for people who I want to bring there. Anyway, so I told her I'd do it for free. So she about a month ago, she told me she recorded the first episode, and could I help with editing and getting it up on YouTube? Sure. Okay, I'll have my guy, Aiden is his name, send you the files. Aiden never sent me the files. A week goes by. How's the editing coming? Well, I never got the files from Aiden. Oh, send another email including me and Aiden on it. Could you send Matt? He's offered to edit this stuff for us, actually for free, on as a favor to me. Could you send them to? And then a week goes by, and she's like, "How's the editing coming?" I still haven't gotten the files. Text daily. Did he send them yet? No. Aiden said, well, I finally get an email from Aiden saying, I've been in bed all week sick. Now, this is like 3 weeks later, bed all week sick. I haven't had a chance to say, how hard is it to send files, Aiden? And being in bed is no excuse. You can do it from your phone, whatever. Never got the file. And then finally I get an email from Aiden saying,
well, how much time has elapsed when you got this email?
Almost a month.
Okay.
And the email says about the problems with the file, like the middle camera, the main camera, the 2-shot is somehow missing. It's not on the cards. I don't know where that is. So I only have individual files, and the audio is screwed up in places. And so the whole thing is a botched. So basically, he was not sending this because he's embarrassed that he fucked up on the recording of it.
Yeah.
So I wrote to her, I mean, this is what you get when you're trying to do things on the cheap using kids and people, people who tell, oh yeah, I'm good at this, I'm good at that.
Now, I'm going to say in defense, there are people that were willing to do things for free, which would be on the cheap, but actually know what they're doing. So that okay, I'm just saying that because, like, for example, you offer to do it for free.
Right.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that would be one way of doing it. Then there's doing it on the cheap, like if like a friend of mine is doing his own series. He's shooting it. He started shooting it, and he reached out to me. He goes, I have a part. I want the Reverend, not me, but he wants the Reverend to be in the show. He wants it. I said, okay. Never, ever reached out again. It's like he reached out to me to try for me to get the book, get the Reverend, because a lot of people are afraid to talk to the Reverend directly. They just try to go through me. But he never followed up on it, and he's going through, again, trying to do it on the cheap with other people who aren't. I think these people are hoping that he will make it and drag them along, as opposed to people who are talented, who are willing to help you out.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Yeah. I don't think this Aiden kid was on the free. I think he was on the cheap production. And I think he already got paid, which is part of the problem. Like, she paid him, and he's got files now that he doesn't want to hand over to an editor because there's nothing that can be done with them to save the episode. I'm like, now you've burned the bridge with the guest, whoever the guest was.
Yeah, because you have to shoot that. You have to either shoot it again or.
Yeah. And that person, I don't want to name the person, the comedian is going to be saying, whatever happened to that episode? When is that going to be released? And it's not. oh well, you wasted a couple of hours of my time. Then we were talking about all the stuff that you're never going to put out there. Why? Is it my fault? Did I say something? No, it's not your fault. I hired a kid, and the kid is just a slacker. There's no other way to put it. So I'm sorry. Do it right. Do it right the first time. That's what I'm saying. Do it right. Yeah. I'm gonna get us a guest for tomorrow. I got to get us a guest for tomorrow. We can't just do this every day. I'm tired. Not that I mind your company or talking to you.
I understand. I don't understand, but I'm pretending to understand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many times can I go back to? Oh, how about those Epstein files? That.
I'm pretending not to be hurt by the damaging things you just said about me.
No, I want you to be able to tell new people about your mom too, and whatever life stories that you have to share with our guests. But
I'm running out of life stories. I don't, because I spend most of my life here. I know I'm living my life before people's eyes.
This is what I need to come up with a clear mission statement of what the fuck we're doing here today. I was thinking about this yesterday because the stuff that Mike said about your views aren't enough. Okay, going by YouTube. It's like you got to understand my purpose here, and there's a couple of purposes here, and I'm trying to get some clarity around this. My number one purpose is to start the day with a laugh for myself because I enjoy this. I'm still pretending to be Imus in the morning, no doubt about that. There's clearly that, but my number one purpose is to start my day kind of getting all this fucking nonsense off my chest, because if not, I'd go insane. I can't talk to my wife about politics because she's pretty right wing.
She's on a different spectrum. She's on a different spectrum than you are.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of people in my life who are still in my life because a lot of them were Trumpers and I cut them out of my life. So if I don't talk about some of this stuff and get it off my chest, I will go totally insane. Not that I'm not very close. But so that's the number one. But the other purpose and the reason I started this thing is to give young performers, young creatives, some insight from the guests that we have on here who have been successful at whatever they do and share some of the journey that matters and could improve their approach to what they do. So the number of, I'm not looking to be Joe Rogan and get millions of views. I want to make an impact to young people. Not, and when I say young, I don't mean young in age. I mean young within the performing professionally pursuit. People who haven't done it for long. I want to give them some insights on how to improve and to keep bringing people on that can share some really important information. And then the authors, I love talking to the authors when they have books that I'm interested in, not romance novels. Sorry. But so those are my two purposes. Start the day off with a good conversation and make myself laugh. And then kind of be a roadmap to young performers to understand the ropes of the business. Now, I'm not sure it comes across as that because we keep getting these jewels. Oh, not enough views. The number of views is not as important as do we make an impact to one person or two people or whatever. Are we making a difference? Are people getting value of it? I don't care about the number of views. And I know a lot of people, I want more traffic, definitely want more traffic. But the goal is to make a difference for some people. That's what we're trying to do, and trying to put that in a concise mission statement that doesn't take 4 minutes to say that. Just like quick two sentence or 3 sentence paragraph.
Dylan Brody to come in and cut out half the words for you.
Yeah, it's having butts. All I want to do. Yeah, that's exactly what I need.
I'm joking about Dylan Brody, but I love Dylan Brody. I really do. He's a good friend, and it's just that, and that's one thing he will say to me. He goes, "You got to cut out half your words. You got too many words, and that's just the way I talk naturally, you know." Yeah. But he is good. He is very, very good in the economy of words. Very few people are better than him at the economy of words.
So, for people who don't know, I'm starting a reaction channel. I built the channel. Now today I have to work on the content. The content my first piece that I'm going to be reacting to is Doug Stanhope has a relatively new YouTube channel. He just put out lost footage. It's actually found footage. It's not lost footage of Mitch Hedberg, 2001. Apparently and I got to look this up. Apparently, I remember some stuff about whether it was Time Magazine, People Magazine. One of these magazines dubbed Mitch Hedberg the next Seinfeld. And I think he took that to heart because he did a pilot. Hedberg takes these comedians on the road, a tour of California with Kim. I mean, there's what, 4 or 5 cities in California. That's not a tour. That's like a weekend or a month. But anyway, he takes these people on the road with him. Stanhope, I think, produced it. He's in it. Young Stanhope, 2001. I want to do some reaction to that because there are some things about Hedberg that I would love. Oh yeah, we talked to Chad. We've had him on the show. I'm sorry to interrupt myself here. Craig Johnson, have you ever y'all ever talked to Chad Ridden in Taos? Yeah, we've had him on the show a couple of times.
Have I met him?
Yeah, we talked to him. I think you were here for it. I don't know. I was assuming you were here for it.
Is this the same guy that you when what's his face went up when Ron goes out that way? You said to Ron, you got to
yeah. I was talking about Taos because I don't remember that many venues that were. Taos is not like a big city. There's not like a lot of comedy clubs there. I remember we're talking about how I think they do them in coffee houses and stuff. But Sean Smith was out there with Chad, and she was finding some opportunity out there. That's a weird. You go from Australia. I'm going to visit the United States. I'm going to go to Taos for to perform comedy. Like that would be. I'd go to Austin. I'd go to Chicago. I'd go to New York. I'd go to LA. I'd go to Boston. Austin. Yeah, Taos. It doesn't seem like it would be on my radar from Australia. But yeah, so we've had Chad riding on. I forgot what I was talking about. Doesn't matter. We're done. Aren't we done?
Because I don't remember talking to Chad. I remember somebody from Australia was saying they were in Taos, and that's who they hooked up with, I think. Was that the lady that was a prostitute and she was living with another guy?
That's right. Yeah. That's I don't. Sean has been trying to hook up with me to talk about business marketing for her career for more than a month, but because she's in Australia, we never get the time zones right. So we've probably had like 15 arranged meetings that neither one of us show up for because we can't fucking figure out the time zone. What is this? He's doing things in the region. Got Andy and Doug up there. I know. I saw that Andy and Doug were doing. I want to talk to Stanhope about this found footage. It's not lost footage because it doesn't seem like lost footage. It seems, or even found footage. It seemed like a completely produced pilot. But what's weird about it? It's a completely produced pilot with intro and testimonials and all the stuff throughout it. It seems to have been shot on VHS or like a home consumer camcorder. And it's got lots of F-bombs in it. So if this was a pilot like Time Magazine or People Magazine were posing Hedberg as the next Seinfeld, who are you going to present it to? No networks are going to look at that and say, oh, it's all full of F-bombs. We can't use that for television. But I'm just curious about the whole thing. And if any of the 5 comedians or 4 other comedians I used loosely that he took on the road, are they still alive? Because some of them, I mean, Lynn Shellcroft, she's very funny. I haven't seen I used to see her on Twitter all the time. This was Mitch Hedberg's wife. I used to see her all the time. Obviously, she was emotionally devastated by the loss of Mitch. And this was apparent if you followed her on social media. Almost everything was still 20 years later about Mitch. But I don't see her anymore. But in seeing some of her stuff in this pilot, damn, she's very good. She didn't get enough credit or enough exposure. I wonder if she's still performing. That possum guy was just like a total imbecile. I don't know why. I think Stanhope put Mitch. Take the possum guy. It'd be good because I don't know. Stanhope has an affinity for these weirdos and these people who just like Inman.
Is that the Bumblebee guy? I don't know. There's a guy who did like the Bumblebee sketch or something. He dresses out one of his.
Oh no, that was Brendan Walsh, the B-man. No, Brendan.
Okay.
Brendan is way old, head and shoulders above these people. The possum guy is just a guy who he's a fry cook who they gave him 15 minutes on a comedy show and he just goes out there and makes faces and stuff. I'm a possum. And like, wow, people are paying for this. I wouldn't, I would be embarrassed. I'd give people their money back. And Inman is just a fucking crazy conspiracy theorist who just yells and is angry at everybody for not loving him. But Stanhope loves these people. I think he kind of convinced me. Take the possum guy. So anyway, I'm going to be reacting to that. That's going to be my first thing, my reaction channel. But my reaction channel is going to be
and in my reaction channel, I'm going to react to Matt's reacting to that.
Well, this is a thing now. I don't know if you're because I don't really follow a lot of the reaction stuff, but a lot of the reactions people now are reacting to people reacting. And we're having like a multiple chain reaction.
Yeah, I just skip I skip over all those things. When I see that, like when I skip over it. As soon as I realize what it is, I don't give a shit about people's reactions to things like that. I'd rather see the thing itself.
Well, Kyle Kalinske is a left-wing commentator, and he often will like comment on like Rogan or other podcasters doing stuff. But now there are people who do reaction to Kyle Kalinske reacting to Joe Rogan stuff, and they were pointed out and then agreeing with Kalinske on everything they say. They're just reusing his content and calling it a reaction. Ew, I love this part where Kyle calls out Joe Rogan on it. Like, we could go to the original video. You're not adding anything of value.
Now, there is a reaction thing that I would be interested in. Okay, for example, and I'm just using this because I couldn't do it now because it's too old. But for example, before I found that the blind Mike was looking at my stuff and critiquing it and stuff like that, the reaction would be like, I don't know about this. My first reaction would be watching someone talk about me like that. I'd be interested. So, for example, if someone, I'm just put this out there, Scarlett Johansson. There's like let's say there's a movie of something out there. Someone's trashing Scarlett Johansson.
You know she's the number one earner. You got to put that in there when you say earner.
Okay.
Top grossing actor of all time.
So somebody's trashing her or reviewing it, and then you say Scarlett and Colin Jost. We're going to sit there and have you watch this, and we're going to film your reactions to that. That'd be interested in them reacting to something about them.
Oh.
But if they said, I want you to react to the Muhammad Ali punching Sonny Liston, the invisible punch, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to turn the table because Blind Mike is a reaction show. He's reacting to your video and other people's work.
But he's not reacting. He's critiquing.
Well, that's what reaction videos are. They'll look at a piece of it and then comment on it. So it's not an original work of their own or not their own original comment. They're just watching somebody else's stuff and giving you their perspective of it. That's what reaction stuff is.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a Blind Mike thing. Blind Mike and Carl Hamburger, who are these pods. I'm going to react to their shows and basically, they're not high on my priority, but eventually I'm going to get to those things. The reaction channels, I don't know why they're so popular, but people like them and they
I guess I guess it feeds some kind of need to people that they have like a voyeuristic thing that they get to watch something, or I don't know.
It's because somebody else has can tear at other people,
and they don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not really hip to the psychology of it, but I know there are some things that I'd like to kind of. Most of the stuff I want to do firsthand stuff. Like I don't want to review reactors reacting to stuff. I want to get the Stanhope thing. I don't think anybody is going to be when you talk about reacting to comedy specials or comedy content. I think that's a very obscure one. Nobody's going to talk about Stanhope's lost or found Mitch Hedberg footage of the pilot that Mitch Hedberg put out.
Now, is StreamYard? We still can't use any of the fancy stuff, right? So I can't put my poster up that tells people July 19th on plausible.com, 7:30 Eastern.
You know what? Tomorrow, try it, and we'll see. But they haven't sent the notice that it's fixed, and I noticed this morning when I logged in, the warning was back. You can't use this stuff, but I'm not sure it's affecting anybody anymore. I don't know if they fixed it or not. They don't tell you when they fix this shit. Not happy with
StreamYard. Because while we're doing the show, I'm watching it like on my phone. I'm watching it on Gov, so I can monitor any reactions or any posts on Govs, so I can respond back. So I would see if there's a glitch, at least as far as showing up on YouTube, because that's where Govs is.
They use Govs uses a whole different weird system. They go through Vimeo. They take it off of YouTube, then go through Vimeo, and then back to YouTube. I don't know. Very strange. I don't know why they hooked it up that way. Anyway, I guess that's a show for you. Steven must still be having weather. Imagine that. Still has weather out there.
I didn't even. Again, I'm just shocked that there was weather left over after Texas and then New Mexico for it to infect Indiana.
Yeah. Go figure. Yeah. Why would weather even care about such a shitty place as Indiana? Indiana's not obviously not high on my place.
It's not even a state, is it? I mean, it's not.
All right. Well, I know we're over time, but here's a thing for you. On Blind Mike the other day, he was reviewing Steel Toe. I don't know Steel Toe, but Steel Toe's Ed McMahon guy. He was talking about state capitals, right? And the question came up: the state capital of Massachusetts, and the guy, the Ed McMahon guy, his first guess was New York. New York is the state capital of Massachusetts. And he said, oh, no, that's a bad guess. How about this? Red Sox. And the guy said, oh, Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the capital of of Massachusetts. And he's like, what? So obviously Boston is, I can't think of another, even maybe Manchester or something in Massachusetts. I don't know. That might even be New Hampshire. I don't know of any cities, but it occurred to me that this guy's a total fucking idiot to think New York is the capital of another state.
Now, just out of curiosity, did he mean New York City, New York County, or New York State is the capital?
I know it. We didn't get that far. You couldn't elaborate because his next guess was Philadelphia.
Maybe he doesn't know what capital. Maybe he doesn't know what a capital is. Did they just tell him what a capital was?
I think he understood the I don't know this for a fact, but I think he
thought capital meant currency.
Yeah.
Now, what is the currency of Massachusetts? And Massachusetts trades in New York.
So the reason I even brought this up because you mentioned Indiana having weather and stuff, and I like because Boston is the capital of Massachusetts. I would not think that because most capitals.
Whoa! I'm sorry. What's that city again? Say that again.
Boston. What?
Okay, I'd never heard that city. And that's in Massachusetts.
Well, most states don't have big cities as their capitals. This is kind of, like New York is not the capital of New York. Albany is, and California is Sacramento, not Los Angeles or San Francisco.
In Maryland, it's Annapolis.
Right. So most states, and so, but you would think Boston, it's too big a city. It's the main city in Mass. That can't be right. I could see you thinking that, but thinking New York or Philadelphia, how do are you fucking brain dead? What the hell is the problem here? But now you bring up Indianapolis and Indiana, and my first guess would be Indianapolis, but then I think, no, it's too big a city. Do we know the capital of Indiana?
South Bend? No.
Terre Haute? Is it Terre Haute?
Probably is Terre Haute. Let's see.
I don't know.
But Indianapolis capital, right? Indiana. Sorry, Indiana.
Yeah.
Capital.
It's not Boston. Is it Philadelphia?
It says Capitol Police. No, Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, the biggest city in Indiana. So that's two states that have the biggest city. Because now Texas, I believe, is Austin, right? Austin is the capital.
That's right. Yeah, I think.
It will soon be. It will soon be the biggest city in Texas. It's not. I think
maybe the strategy was that if a state got invaded and they wanted to, because if you want to destroy a state, you want to take out the local government, and if people think the local government is like the biggest city, that's where they'll go attack, and then the government is safe in this little cubby hole, and nobody's going to go there.
Now this guy, though, Steel Toe gave him the clue. He said Red Sox, and that's when he said Philadelphia. Now, I could see you saying Cincinnati because they used to be the Red Stockings, Cincinnati Red Stockings, but Philadelphia Phillies. That seems to be pretty.
But you got it all wrong. See, Philadelphia is known for its violence and the blood-soaked socks that they have.
Kurt Schilling. No, Kurt Schilling with a Red Sox when he had the blood on his sock, right?
Yeah, but in Philadelphia, like you get a head wound, the blood runs down. You get a leg wound, the blood runs down, and it always gathers in your socks. No matter what happens, it runs down to your socks, so your socks are red. I understand why he thinks Philadelphia is the Red Sox. I do. Yeah. I get it, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that.
To me, that's something to be made fun of. If a guy is like saying New York is the capital of Massachusetts or Philadelphia is the capital of Massachusetts, that is, you don't want to make fun of somebody who's cognitively impaired, but that's just so fucking ridiculous. You got to make fun of that. But they didn't. They didn't make fun of that. They just let it slide. And I'm like, what the fuck? Nobody's calling this guy a fucking idiot. I'm at home. I'm screaming, you fucking idiot. Yeah. All right.
Maybe people are so used to people because was it Dave Letterman used to have somebody in the street and they'd ask them questions that people should know the answer to. Yeah. Of course, they probably asked 700 people and 695 knew the answer, but the 5 people didn't know. They're the ones that made the cut. So they're rewarding ignorance.
Yeah, rewarding stupidity.
Yeah,
beyond ignorance, stupidity. I mean, if you say New York is the capital of Massachusetts, whether you mean the city or the state, you're a fucking idiot.
I think it makes a difference. Now, if he had said the river, then I probably would have been a little bit disappointed.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it makes a difference if it's the city or the state.
All right, let's get out of here. I gotta go get high. Am I high right now? No.
And I'm supposed to be on a set of a shooting on a set.
All right, well, go there. Go act. Go act your ass off.
No, I don't get to act until tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm a drug addict. I'm sorry, I'm a recovering addict. Tomorrow.
Nah, all right. Yeah, fine. Go recover. Go recover your ass off. Oh, no, that's tomorrow. All right, do whatever you got to do today. In the meantime, don't.
Don't forget, guys, the phrase that pays is turn on your radio.
Are you high right now? 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 High right now?
What's in the box?
Are you high?
What's in the box? What's in the box? to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.